floodlight, from the lane to the world, we stand shoulder to shoulder. Raise your scarves high in the Spurs corner. Oh, Tottenham Hotspur, North London is ours. North London will always be ours. In 17 Tottenham, home of the Spurs, White Hart Lane, home of the Spurs. Do you know what we are? Let me tell you what we are. Champions of Europe, that's what we are. Let me sing it again. We won it in Bilbao. Won it in Bilbao. Champions of Europe, that's what we are. Spurs corner, Tottenham till I die. Spurs corner, Tottenham till I die. Spurs corner, Tottenham till I die.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Spurs Corner, the best place to be on a Wednesday night. Welcome back. Smash like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. You know the drill. You know how we do it each and every Wednesday, sometimes Tuesday. But this week it's Wednesday. Welcome back. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. So much to talk about this week when it comes to the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know if we're mighty anymore, but we're going to call it that. Maz, how you doing, my man? You good? You excited to talk about Tottenham?
Oh, I couldn't wait. I've been raring to go all week. No, I'm good. I'm all good. I'm very busy. Life is very busy. Lots of things to deal with from all angles. But Spurs, wow. Just when we thought it couldn't get lower. Spurs does everything in their power to make that happen. So I'm looking forward to talking about it tonight. I've got a lot to say.
Good stuff. We're going to get into it. Big up everyone in the chat. All of you just joining us now. Thanks for being here. Iggy, I know you've been a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, still am, man. Still am. But yeah, all good to go. Maz, what are you talking about, man? We've just made 2 signings. Paratic has gone to relegation at Fiorentina, so he's out of the club. 2 signings have come. We got rid of Bentancur. Well, no, Bentancur got injured, and we replaced him the day after. The team's moving forward, man. What are you talking about? We got someone who wants to be in the World Cup and in the England team, and he's definitely annoyed a lot of Chelsea fans, which is great. He's annoyed a few Spurs fans as well.
His interview was ridiculous, isn't it?
You know what the funny thing is? He's a signing that's managed to annoy both sets of fans. But not partly. One and partly the other. But no, all jokes aside, man. All's good. Football-wise, there's always... at Tottenham, we've always said this, right? Before at Tottenham away and now on Spurs Corner. Tottenham Hotspur has to be by far the one club that gives all Spurs YouTube content creators and other plenty of content. The gift that keeps on giving us content.
We're a TV drama.
Just always something to talk about. I don't think there's ever been a week or 2 or a month where there's nothing happening at Spurs that we cannot react or respond or discuss about. this week's gonna be no different. So big up to you guys, big up to everyone in the chat, and big up to everyone who follows us, watches us, but any, if not live, any time of the week, man. It's good, always good to be here.
So,
how are you, Stel?
We don't want to find out about him.
Yeah, no, we'll go around, isn't it? It's like start with Maz, start with it, end with Stel. You know what I mean? JP's not. So, yeah, how are you, Stel? Talk to us. What's happening?
I'm done.
You know what the thing with Stel is, yeah?
Done for the season.
We know, you know what funny is? Well, I said after that exit of the cup against Aston Villa, I feel that our season in terms of what we can achieve is done. However, because these guys don't like to play with pressure, as a famous manager once said, we don't like to play with pressure. We don't like to play. Who knows? Now that we've got nothing to play for, the pressure's now off. Perhaps now we can kick on our season.
I'm done.
Well, apparently,
you know what the problem is, Estelle, right? This one here. Me and you, we come on here
What
once.
do you mean problem? What do you mean problem?
Right? No. I'm not saying you're the problem.
Problems, not just one problem. Problems.
I don't have problems. I'm done.
No.
I'm done.
Is that we come on here once a week and we get to, but still has to do this like on a Monday, then on Wednesday, then he appears here and there. He's forever talking about this shit show, man.
Then he's got us in the WhatsApp group moaning.
I can see why he's a little bit more down than me and you are.
No, I'm not down. I'm just done. I'm done. Listen,
down.
The
only one letter.
The audacity, right? The absolute criminality of those who called me a flip-flop in the summer, who now flip-flop on a weekly basis.
We'll flip-flop.
My point is,
no.
Them,
no.
Iggy, it's really getting silly now.
The level of the flip-flopping happening this year has been
something I don't. And we don't have to.
He's a great player. Look at Moani Juventus. Wait till Moani now. Frank, we just need a coach. All we need is a coach. A coach can get more out of this squad. The players are shit. It's all their fault, not Frank. ENIC 2.0, I'm excited by the new corporate structure. I can't wait. Now they're slagging them off. ENIC out, protest fired up. Every week, all right? Every week. All I've done this year is just remind people, but this is what you said to me in the summer. This is what you said in August. This is what you said in September. This is what you said.
Sounds like this.
The FA Cup
sounds like this.
This is what you said about this.
Sounds like that.
Oh, the Black Book. I've got one of those.
It sounds like this.
Hey, this weekend, right, when we went out to Villa, that was it for me. I'm done. I'm just here to host now. I'm just here to host. I'm just going to host.
No, the reality is, right, is that people don't want to take responsibility and accountability for what they say. They don't. They want to be right all the time. And so when you point out their hypocrisy, that's when, World War III starts. They can't take it
because I feel like I feel like you guys. I feel like I've missed. So what's happened for you guys to start the show this way? Something's like what's
because you asked me how I'm doing
in the pad.
Listen. I was ready to start the show, and then you said, "Stel, what about you?"
I asked how you been because you ask us how we are. It's only right that we ask how you are.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not starting the show like this. It's just I'm answering your question. I'm done. The fans, our fan base is messed up. The board is messed up. The players are messed up. The coaching staff, the medical team, the manager, everything.
The beer,
at this club
the cost of the beer, the ticket prices.
Nothing works.
The kit is messed up. We've lost. We lost our sponsor. It's gone. That's messed up. Have we got a new sponsor yet, by the way? Just before we start, have we got a new sponsor yet?
Durex condoms. Because we always get fucked. might protect us, I don't know. But let's get into it. Tonight, we've got loads to discuss. I want to briefly discuss this FA Cup celebration kit that was launched for about 10 fans only. The Aston Villa game, the latest weekly stats of Frank versus Ange and Frank versus all the other managers. Then I want to bring up the Frank calling out the fans and Romero calling out the fans. Then the injury crisis, the protest, the current signings that we've just made, and to end it on with the latest story in the drama, Paratici officially leaving. So we're going to work in that order because that's how it all happens. So to get the show starting, people, Spurs announced a celebration FA Cup kit to commemorate, I don't know the exact number, but a specific, I think it's 125 years of the FA Cup and Spurs winning it in 1901.
Just under.
Now, this kit only went on sale to less than 2,000 fans. And what happened is the fans that have got hold of it, quite a lot of them then put it on eBay and they're selling it for 500-600 quid. So it was an opportunity to make some money. Do you think, right, the club should have issued a few more kits other than just under 2,000? Because a lot of fans actually said they like this kit. They, you know, it's nice. And to see Spurs play against Villa with a all white top, navy shorts, navy socks, there was something classy about it, something historical about it. Do you think the club either missed a trick, did they do it on purpose, or is it just stupidity? Where are you at with that kit? And we'll keep it brief because there's a lot to talk about. So what's your thoughts?
I think that I'm a bit conflicted. I'm with you. You know, it's a shame. It's a shame that people can't get their hands on the kit and it's not more widely available.
If they order from China, they might be able to.
Yeah, exactly. But what I would say is that it depends on if Spurs make this a more regular thing. If they're going to do limited edition kits and they actually keep them limited edition, then it's a way of the club creating a sub brand of the brand where people can buy memorabilia that might be worth something in the future if it's in limited numbers. So, you know what? Still, I don't really care. I just don't care.
I don't care.
I mean, like, who cares? I mean, seriously. Like, if we won the game, we might have been worth more, but we didn't. So, who cares?
It's true. It's true. Like, Iggy, do you care? Are you bothered by this?
Fundamentally, no. But what I will say is the timing of everything. They never have a sense of timing about anything. 125th year of this and 20. They released this because I think they knew that we were going out to Aston Villa. Because if we didn't release it now, given it was a FA Cup, when were they going to release it? Because I was just thinking the timing of it all. It's just so lame. We come out a few days before the cup game against Villa, knowing that we were going out. Because if we had gone all the way, you're right. This shirt perhaps could have been worn for every tie of the cup. If we had a serious team that could have perhaps have taken it all the way, who knows what this kit could have been something really memorable. In the same way that last season's kit that we wore in Europa, the top that we wore for the Europa Cup final, that's going to be a shirt that we will always remember. No matter what year, we will see that shirt that's sitting behind you still. It don't matter what we will always remember it because that's the season that we won the Europa Cup. This kit, as lovely, it was a lovely shirt. Don't get me wrong. You're right. It's got class in the fact that it had the shirt number with no name. It just adds an element of nostalgia and retro about it. But look how quickly it came and it went.
You're absolutely right, Guy. It's just that the timing is just horrendous, right? The timing is just horrendous.
But at the same time, if they don't release it before the Villa game, they were never going to release it because.
Why didn't they release it at the start of the season?
Yeah. Listen, they could have released it as part of the season's. We're on
the hype. We just won the Europa.
This is the shirt that we're going to be wearing in our FA Cup run.
Yeah.
Of 125th. Make it accessible and available. Perhaps do it a limited edition. Why not? But not 2,000. We've got way more fans than that. But it is what it is, man. It's done, and it's a sad because it's not going to be something that we'll remember. Those who have bought it will keep it, and maybe we'll look at it in the years to come. But they're not going to have a connection of any memory to that top, other than the fact that it's a special edition and for monetary reason. But it was not going to have any lasting memory because it was we went out straight away. So it's
Well,
just,
that's
that's why I don't care about it. That's why
that is the key
I
thing,
agree
isn't
with
it?
you. I don't care about it.
Is how do you connect that top to either the 125 years or some really memorable event? So I fear what they should have done is well, I say I fear what they should have done is link that shirt to the Europa winning success, so it'll be remembered for a very long time, and then say, right, it's only 2000 because of whatever reason, and then it gives people a reason to want it. But you're right, like they've released it now just before the like the FA Cup thing, and we got knocked out. So that shirt is just like, well, this doesn't mean anything. It just symbolizes failure of losing to Aston Villa. Really, that's what it symbolizes. Now think about it. That's what it symbolizes to me.
These lot really wanted to make money off a shirt? I know it was taking up way too much time. They probably needed to be, but if they really these lot really want to make money on the shirt, you know what they should do? They should release a Europa Cup final special edition shirt with the writing of the final and the logo and everything like that. And I guarantee you, however many shirts they put out will sell out. We will sell out.
Yeah.
Sell out. And for me, that would be the. I know a lot of people bought last year's shirt, but then they should have a Europa Cup final special edition shirt, so that at least everyone's going to tap into that because of the memory that we have of winning that night or winning that Bilbao. I call it a Bilbao special, whatever you want. And I just think that would have been better off. But look, it's a lovely shirt, but it's not going to be a memorable one, unfortunately. It's
But
not.
this comment here, I think this is a brilliant comment by Jordan. Frank Norgard, Visa, and the Burbo haven't made the step up. They've got the Brentford DNA.
We're going to get on to Frank.
Do you know what, though? We laugh and we joke, but Brentford are doing really well this season, man.
We're going to get onto that as well, Wiggy.
Doing really well.
We're going to get onto it. Let's get on to the FA Cup game. So this kit was for the big FA Cup game against Villa. Danzo came in because Romero received another suspension because the appeal went wrong. And that's what happens if you don't win appeals with the FA. You get an additional suspension, which is why I don't think clubs should really appeal them. But okay, Danzo came in at centre-back with Van der Ven. The wing-backs were Pedro Porro and the man of the moment, Super Ben Davies. Are we lucky to have him? In midfield, it was Archie Gray. It was Xavi, Simmons and Paulinho. And then a front three of Richie, Odebert and Tell. That meant Solanke, who was back, by the way, was on the bench. Spence was on the bench. Mawani benched. And the rest was made up of kids. Adogi was back as well, but he was on the bench. We lost 2-1. Villa dominated the stats. They had more shots. They had more shots on target. They had almost double the passes we did. Double the amount of clear-cut chances and more corners. So they won every single statistical metric, including the score. It was a game of two halves. First half, it was all Villa. We were absolutely awful. Second half, Spurs were much better. And then Emery made some subs which stabilised things, and Frank's substitutions, I think, cost us the game. We'll get into it when we break down the analysis, because I personally think Frank completely mismanaged that game. The game ended with a brawl at the end, nothing like a good old punch-up when things are going wrong. And what that means is, people, and here are the stats. Are you ready? Oh. So Frank is officially the points per game in all competitions. He's the worst manager we've had since Martin Jol. Worse than Ramos, Redknapp, AVB, Poch, Mourinho, Nuno, Conte, and he is the worst. He's actually worse than Ramos. There you go. Emery versus Frank. Unai Emery's Aston Villa have won 13 games out of their last 15. Frank's Tottenham have won 3 out of their last 15 games. And here's the one that's going to rattle everyone out there, because I've got an agenda, right? You ready? Here comes the one. Frank versus Ange. Oh, yeah. Frank has more points. Sorry, Ange has more points, more goals after 17 games compared to Frank. And there you have it, people.
But I thought Frank made us more defensively solid.
Well, it's all the coach's fault, apparently. And just one more comparison, because it's not just about Emery versus Frank and Ange versus Frank and every other Spurs manager versus Frank. Let's look at Frank's old team. Brentford, they're averaging 1.57 points per game with 17 games remaining. Their current manager, Keith Andrews, who was Frank's old set-piece coach, is on course to pick up another 27 points, which would see them on 60. That would break their club record of 59. And Brentford finished 9th under Frank. And if you look at the last 5 seasons, all the points they've accumulated, they're currently ahead of any other season. And can I say, this is without Ivan Toney, Mbeumo, Wissa, and Norgard, all the players everyone said, but Frank had those players at Brentford. Well, when he had them at Brentford, this guy's doing better without them, Keith Andrews. So, look, this is just data. You make of it what you want. Guys, just on the game itself and the current stats of Frank, it's easy to point the finger at the manager and it's easy to point the finger at the players and it's easy to sum it up by saying this is all Enoch's doing. If we're honest and there's no agendas, is it fair to say Frank's the wrong manager for Spurs long term? This squad isn't good enough for Spurs if they want to really challenge for a league title again. And this board so far has shown that they actually don't give a shit because the communication coming out of them is non-existent. Everything's at fault, isn't it? If you change the manager, it won't fix it. If you change the players, it won't fix it. Really, it's Enoch that needs to be changed because they control who the manager is, what players we eventually sign, who's in charge of the recruitment of the players, who the medical team is, what players to sign off on, when to hire, when to fire managers. Because that Villa game is pretty much like the last 15 games. No different. Same thing we see. One half good, one half a bit better, but eventually we lose. Where are you at with the Villa game, and where are you at with Frank and everything else? The players, the ball. There's a lot to discuss there.
Go on, Maz.
He's the wrong manager for Tottenham Hotspur. When you look at the defence, we're conceding more or the same type of goals as what we did under Ange, just in different ways. When you look at the midfield, it's the same poor display that we see time and time again from him this season. He's had a couple of games where we looked really good, and then that's been it. So the trajectory hasn't been up or hasn't been stable. It's just been a downward trend for half of the season. When you look at our attack, it's poorer than what it was last season, and I refuse to believe that the players that he wanted into the club, that he was being a part of, and he said yes to and he's accepted, that they are the problem. When clearly, when they want to turn it on, or when they have no pressure on them, they decide they switch it on and off. I don't think that is a capability issue. I don't rate our squad, by the way. I'm not insinuating that our players are any better than what they were last year. I still think that they're a poor group of players, but I don't think they're so poor that we should be 14th in the league, and I don't think they're so poor that we should be getting knocked out. And don't get me wrong, Aston Villa are a really good team, and they've got a very good manager, but I don't feel that we should be only turning up when we're 2-0 down. Effectively, we should have fight. And Frank, being a new manager, hasn't been able to give, even rally the players up. So they are fighting. The only people they're fighting is the fans, and when they get pissed off in the game. I would rather see them fight on the pitch. And I don't mean fighting physically with other teams. I mean battling for the ball, trying to win the first and second balls. A high level of performance as a team. And we're just not seeing that. So if Frank can't galvanise the team from the get-go, there's no new manager bounce whatsoever. I mean, our new manager bounce was effectively 2 games, PSG in the beginning and Man City, and that's it. What is there to look forward to with Frank? And you try and remove the emotion out of it. You try and remove the your thoughts on the previous manager or the previous managers before, and you start looking at statistics, and the statistics paint a really dire picture. And then, so to answer your specific question, Stel, without going into other aspects of the club, I don't think Frank is the right manager for Spurs. And the reason I don't think he's the right manager for Spurs is he's already come out in the first 6 months and started attacking the fan base. I don't remember any manager, apart from maybe Ange, and even Ange in his first season didn't attack the fan base. Let's be honest. His first season, he was okay to a certain aspect. He only
Ange attacked the fan base when we were divided.
Man City game.
The Man City game,
yeah. But that, and that wasn't good either. But Frank has attacked the fan base, early on in his tenure, and I think when you start off from that footing, and when you say things like he has done in his press conferences, like, "Oh, I knew the game was finished at 2-0, we had 40 minutes to play." How can you back this manager? You can't. And I feel they're representative. What's happening now is representative of his poor leadership and poor leadership of the club. Now, and I'm not saying the players are blameless. I think the players are to blame as well as Frank, because some of them should be showing a lot more than what they have been showing. As an example, Mawani, having seen him in his previous clubs, Juve, PSG, I do not think he's as bad as what he's showing, but he doesn't look like he wants to be here. And, if he doesn't want to be here, then we should just cancel his loan and send him back. If he doesn't want to be here. If he does want to be here, then he needs to up his performances and start scoring goals. Tell, if tells, there's rumors, we don't know what the truth is, but we can theorize, right? There's rumors that he's unhappy and he's one of the 3 players that wants to leave Tottenham Hotspur, Van der Ven, Porro, and Tell, that Richarlison, whatever the group of players that want to leave us. Well, we just signed him. Why did you sign the contract, mate? If you don't want to be here, if you want more minutes, play better. Stop being Werner 3.0. Stop being crap. Now he has, he's shown glimpses of slightly better performance from him in the last few games. But let's be honest, he's a poor player. He's not done anything. And when he has done something, he's always been, a deflection of some kind that sort of ruined the finish of the goal. That, for me, that's not good enough. And like I said, I don't rate these players, but I don't think they're as bad as what they're showing. And I agree with what you've been saying, Stel, is that when you're seeing it throughout the whole team, it is a manager issue. But here's what I see.
Mate,
when Conte had
Sunderland and Brentford. Look at Sunderland and Brentford.
Let me just finish this thought thing, and you can give me the other examples. Here's what I see. When Jose had problems where the team wasn't playing well, stuff like that, he still was picking up points. We were still 5th. We still had good moments in games. We still had, good results here and there with him, right? When Conte had the same problems in his second season, things weren't good, but he was still picking up points. We were still fourth, going on to third. We were still picking up points. So you look at Frank, and you look at all the negatives that have been happening under him. We're not even. He's not showing me anything to grasp onto hold to and say, okay, we're playing bad, but we're still getting a draw. We're still nicking a win. You know, we're winning ugly, but at least we're winning. So give him time, give him players. And I could see people in the thing saying, oh, he had Kane and Son. Yeah, but we've got Xavi and Richarlison. There you go. Right. What I mean is, just to say we had Harry Kane as an excuse for these managers doing well is nonsense. Because
Maz, do you know how you beat that argument? We had a better defensive record under Mourinho.
Yeah, with worse defenders. Yeah, I know that.
And worse
what I mean is, but you hear this all the time, right? You hear. Oh, you know, we had Harry Kane and Son, but they weren't the team. Just those two players doesn't make a team. And also, they had a lot of crap players around them. We had an awful team
in midfield with Holiday. Yeah, we had Chipping Royale, we had Doherty, we had Eric Dyer, Ben Davies,
Sanchez,
Clement Longley, Joe Rodon, Sanchez,
Forster.
What it is other YouTube channels have brainwashed fans into looking here and not giving a full perspective. And that's what happened. The brainwashing is immense this year.
And when Kane was injured, by the way, when Kane was injured and we just had Son, we're still picking up results without Kane.
Kane and Son was so good that they were able to paper the cracks.
No, Iggy, because the defensive record was worse. Was better. Like, bro in big bold letters in case we can't spot it. Harry Kane is a 30-goal. Harry Kane wasn't in defense. The defense was better under Mourinho. We conceded less under Mourinho. Do you not get it? We are conceding more with Frank and Ange. We concede more with them. People don't get it.
I think with Mourinho though, he identified where we were weak and where we were strong. So all he did just lower the block, made us a counter-attacking team because he knew that with Kane and Son, they would resolve between them. They will always resolve the match in terms of opportunities and scoring. And because even with less opportunities to score goals, because their ratio of goal conversion with chances created was so good, he was able to win more games and keep us defensively, even with those players that he had, reasonably solid. That's where he based it from. But the point of the matter is, the manager identified straight away where the weaknesses and the strengths were the teams were, and adapted with what he had, and tried to change it as months and the year that he followed. You know, but he didn't obviously get the people and the recruitment, the staff that he wanted on the pitch. He was had to make do, and that's the problem that we've had. We've always made do in terms of recruitment. Now, I'd be interested to see who chose the signing of Gallagher. And before anyone else, I'm not going to slate the guy. I will judge him on the pitch like I do with everyone else. I'm not going to slate with him without even so much as seeing a minute of him in a Spurs shirt. But I would like to know who at Spurs decided that Gallagher was the one. I know his name had been circulating for a while, linked with us. But who actually made the decision to say, yeah, that's my guy? Was it the manager? Was it the club? Was it together? I don't know, because it's a difficult one, because his name was linked with us even before Frank joined us. So it has the smell. It has the smell of club signing. And this is all the things that keep on happening. It doesn't matter who the manager is. These are things that happen in year after year. It doesn't even matter who we have on the board, whether it's Levy or now it's Lange or Paratici or whatever. It seems to be that the club still have the same sort of motto on how to deal with things, no matter who the people in charge are of the signing players. because Levy's not there anymore, but the same things are happening. So there's a far greater above them all all these people that I mentioned that still make them club signings. So yeah, listen, I'm in line with you guys, man. At the end of the day, Frank, I will say this: I did see at the beginning of the season, I saw improvements in terms of defending. We were conceding less goals. We definitely improved in set pieces and conceding from corners. There were improvements, but unfortunately, we didn't grow from that. We saw the improvements straight away, but then it just that there was like as if someone said, "Halt, stop." Now we're going to start conceding stupid goals. There was no growth. We should have carried on growing from that. That should have been the base. The defensive, not conceding, really make it difficult for the opponents to score against us, and then build from that. Build the XGs, up, see all the improvements, but we started conceding goals again, which when a team concedes goals for fun, winning games is going to be hard enough as it is. The XGs is what it is. Then we've had forwards, lack of creativity. Simmons has had his own Sammy Simmons has had his own struggles. Midfield not quite right. Defense, even though we have all our players back that we didn't have, they were injured a lot last season. Now that they're back, we're doing worse at the back. The keeper's having his own difficulties. Romero, Van der Ven, who's a bit outspoken of late, and he's starting to show signs that he doesn't really want to be here. There was a different VDV that we saw at the beginning of the season,
much
and
different
the
vibe
last.
about
So
him,
you just
isn't
feel
there?
there's definitely been a change in his demeanour. Porro, arguments with fans at Bournemouth. We are seeing things in this 6 months that even at our worst last year, we didn't always see. And but we are in terms of how we were doing last year in the league and what we're doing this year, we're practically guys. We are 6 points above Forest, who are in 17th place. 6 points.
Iggy, you know
we're
what?
Talking a million miles away from where we were last year, man.
You know what this reminds me of is it's the same lack of respect the players showed Nuno when he first came, and they're down tools. It reminds me of exactly the same as what happened under Nuno, albeit at least Nuno won half his games that he was here.
Maz,
right?
You know what it is?
Kane and Son down tools when Nuno came because they didn't believe in him, right?
Yeah,
he came,
they knew.
And Kane just stopped shooting at goal, right? So unlike Kane, the guy just stopped shooting. Frank has come in, and within a short space of time, it's like the whole squad doesn't believe in him. Whether they're still upset, whether this club sacked Ange, right, and there's key players in that squad that feel aggrieved by that. Whether it's because they just don't think Frank's a very good manager, there is something not right in that camp. I feel that a good leader will sit down with these players and galvanize them and have the conversations. We don't know whether he has or he hasn't, but it doesn't look like he has. And the club, the sporting directors, the 301 sporting directors that we've got all working together in harmony, they need to get involved and harmonize the squad. But how can the squad and everything be harmonized when you got Paratici effing off because he's found a girlfriend back home in Italy, right? And he wants to move. And that really, I think that's just an excuse.
That's such a bullshit story.
Whatever it is, I don't care whether it's true. But either way, he's going to a relegation club, effectively, Fiorentina's 20th, right? And you'd rather go there than stay here. So that to me tells you a lot, right, about why he's moving. And you got Flange, who, let's be honest, he's one of the worst sporting directors we've ever had.
You know what? I want to ask you both a question. I want to ask you this.
One minute, because in the chat, you're all doing my head in. When we had Kane and Son, tell me what happened under Nuno. Tell me what happened when Kane and Son were playing under Nuno. It was shit. So people that say, oh, it's because Conte and Mourinho had Kane and Son. No, they knew how to utilize the team to get the most out of it. Because when Nuno had Dele Alli, Kane, Son, we were awful. We collapsed. We were getting banged 3-0 every week. So this Kane and Son argument is nonsense. Like I've said, you've been brainwashed by other YouTubers, guys. They've got into your heads. I'm sorry.
What I've found between last season and this season, that this is where we were shit last season in the league. We continue to be shit this season in the league. There was unrest amongst the fans last season in the league, and there was unrest again this season in the league. The only difference that I can personally find, and that's why I'm asking you two a question, if you feel this as well, as fans of Spurs, that I don't see unrest in the team. I didn't see it last season as I have as much as this season. I think this season there looks like there's a division in the team. There's unrest in the team, and I don't think we're all playing for the manager. I still saw, for as crazy tactics that it was last year with Ange, I did see players not play for him. I didn't see that. I saw players play for him more than I didn't. But this year, it's been really out there. And Ange, for all his arrogance, I still feel like he had the dressing room. You know, he had it. He had them in the palm of his hands. Do you know what I mean? I felt like his character. I don't know. Maybe the way he was selling it. I don't know. I just felt like he had the control. I don't feel that Frank. This is where I feel that it's Frank. I don't feel that Frank has, and I've seen too many games with the performance, with players' behaviour off the pitch. There's been too many incidents, even with our eyes watching the games, where they haven't appeared that they've all been locked in what Frank is trying to do. I felt like there was a large part of the team that were locked in under Ange, and that comes to the characters. They're two different characters, first and foremost, but we as Spurs manager, you need to be strong, man. You need to have a demeanor about you. You need to be a really strong character and need to be able to take no shit. And that's where I feel that it's more the characteristics of the manager that are different from last year to this year, not necessarily the quality of the team, because we're on par with what we did last year, man.
It's interesting looking at Nuno's stats and looking at where we are at now. And Nuno, he won 8, drew 2, lost 7.
Man, 1 minute. How did Nuno play 17 games? He got sacked after the 10th league game.
I'm just looking at his, unless Wikipedia is wrong.
Are they
do you know what?
Maybe all competitions?
Maybe it counts. Maybe it counts.
It's all
everything.
competition. It's all competition.
Yeah, fair enough. But
probably pre-season as well.
Yeah, true.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, the stats are still shit. By the way, they're still crap.
Well, he's still got a high. He's still doing a little bit better according to those than Frank anyway.
Do you know what it is, guys? With me, I watched the Aston Villa game, and first half I thought this is atrocious, absolute rubbish. Just what's the point of even being in the competition? And then second half, and I've seen this so many times against Liverpool, against Fulham, against Bodo, against Brighton, against Newcastle. We go 2-0 down, or we're in a situation where you think, right, the game's done. Nothing to lose. Let's just attack. And suddenly the other team, they don't know what's hit them. And we're all over them. We get a goal. We get into them. They're wobbling. And we look like the team that's going to get the second goal or maybe the third goal. And this is exactly what I saw. And I couldn't fucking believe my eyes. Unai Emery, being a good manager, realised his team's in trouble. He made 2 changes to try and stabilise that midfield. We now need to counter that. Mawani and Xavi Simons were causing problems down the middle. Yeah. The goal we scored came from Mawani going down the middle and releasing Odegaard. Xavi Simons would have scored a goal going down the middle had it not been offside.
Cutting them up, and he changed it up and started going wide again. Fucking idiot.
Yeah. And that's all he knows how to do.
What he should have done is said, right, Mawani Simons.
Yeah, they were cutting them open. They were cutting them up.
He brings on Scarlett. Play him up top. Go 2 up top. So you've got 2 in the attacking mid, 2 in up front. That 4 is all down the middle. All of them have got an attacking ability. Fine. If Dane Scarlett's too young, move Tell across and say, Tell, go up top, double up with who was up top? Solanke, whoever was up top.
Solanke.
What he does, this clown, he takes off Tell, brings on Scarlett, plays Scarlett right wing, and we lost all the momentum. The game died. When he made those moves, the game died. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking,
Awful.
I'm thinking,
Mate,
awful,
why would you
man.
do that?
you
man?
are an
The only thing
elite
that was
level coach.
working.
You're on £8 million a year. Can't you spot where you're looking good and you can't tell to double down on that area and you revert back to your 3-4, your 4-3-3 type? And then my brain went back to the summer when everyone told me, because listen, I didn't watch Frank for the last 3 years. I barely watched Brentford. But all these fellow YouTube friends of mine, he's a master tactician. He's adaptable. He knows how to pivot.
The professor.
Mate, Unai Emery pulled your pants down when you had control of the game, Frank. And he literally just got a grenade pin, pulled it, and threw a grenade on the pitch and just blew us up. Mate, for sure Spurs would have got the second goal if we continued with that central momentum. He pulled us out wide, and do you know what? Unai Emery must have sat there, looked at it and thought, oh, this is a gift.
He completed the job for me because he had made those changes to counter that situation, to stabilize his own team, and then he stabilized his team because he only stabilized his own team because they were getting battered by Spurs. And then
in the middle,
he's waited, he saw the changes he's made, looked at the picture, thought, fuck, he's just made, okay, cool. I've done my bit. You've done the rest of the bit for me. I'll just wait and try and see if we can get a goal on the counter, which they nearly did. And that's why. But you see the things with.
But he does.
We see the things
like Nottingham Forest. We're 2-0 down. We need the next goal. We need the next goal.
On. But you see what happened at the end of the match with when you see
one attacker.
When you see the things that happen with Palhinha, yeah, of course, Watkins provoked him, yeah. Watkins, celebrating, he's gone right up to his face, pretending he's celebrating with the fans with Palhinha right there, and Palhinha's like, but that's all happened because of that incident, but it's a frustration of another game that we've come away.
Because they knew, like
the season. When you saw our players,
Emery probably said to them, "Good evening." Right, go in there and piss them off or something like that, right? because they're mentally weak, and that's exactly what they done. It's like they knew how to turn our buttons.
Team that's come to White Hart Lane this year have said rattle them, because as soon as they start losing it, the fans will do the rest of the work for us, because our fans straight away will start getting on their backs, and you as the opposition. That's our job done.
It's the mentality of the manager, right? Any Latino, Spanishy, Portuguese, South American manager,
them, man.
Mourinho, Simeone, even Arteta, Unai Emery, all these types of managers, when the game's going against them, their players know, start pissing them off on the pitch, fake a knee injury, go down holding your head, get boos from the crowd, make the referee feel uncomfortable. They psychologically know how to destabilize.
So I'm going to elaborate on that. I'm going to elaborate on that.
And we get sucked in by it every single time. We get sucked in.
I don't know how many of you saw the game Inter versus Napoli. It was a head-to-head clash on the weekend.
That was a good game, 2-2. McTominay, by the way.
Did you see what happened with Conte? And I'll tell you, and I'm mentioning him because of what you just said.
He got sent off.
Did you see the whole situation? Did you think when you looked at it, guys, boy, he's gone a bit over the top there?
No, he's winding up his players.
Right. Yeah, everyone missed that trick. And what he did, you're thinking, this guy, they've just had a VAR decision rule against Napoli. They're given a really soft penalty, but it was a penalty. Step on foot penalty. Conte knows, right? I knew what he was doing, but not everyone picked up on it. Conte goes absolutely skits against the fourth man, grabbing the attention of the referee. As the referee, now Conte's got in his mind, Çalhanoğlu is not going to miss that penalty. They're going to go 2-1 up. I need to do something now to rally up my players because we're going to go 2-1 down against the top of the league away at the San Siro. So he's gone straight square against the fourth man. He's then to grab the attention of the referee, turns around and there's the ball. You know, have the balls on the side now. He smashes that ball as far as he can kick it, grabbing the attention of the referee, who's told this penalty kick taker to stop, whilst he goes over to send him off. Conte calls everyone, you lot all the fucking disgrace. All the referee, you're a disgrace to the fourth man, you piece of shit. I mean, I can lip read what he's saying to them. He gets off the pitch into score. Incredibly, Napoli, you think these lot 2-1 down with like 15 minutes to go, or however long it was left. Napoli start actually to play better, 2-1 down, and they go and equalise and risk in the very end to win the game. And
Proper
this is all
manager,
because he created a scenario in that 5 minutes to sucker.
Proper manager.
I'll tell you what I knew what he was doing, man.
That's what I mean about winners and losers.
Because when he got sent off, he went and stood in the corner behind the glass next to the photographers and the video cameras watching the game. And he was standing next to his assistant, his brother, and they were calm as anything. So 5 minutes before, he was blowing a gasket, and 5 minutes later, it was someone, the video camera got the shot of him, and he was calm. He was calm watching the game to see how his team would react. And that's psychological, man. And that's the part. It's the big, the psychological part is the real big.
This is why we made such a mistake. Right?
This is the part that's missing at Tottenham.
Yeah,
we don't have any psychological.
He's not streetwise. He's not got that killer instinct.
No, but man, that's something that lacks at Tottenham in generally. It was lacking this season, last
season.
Yeah,
and Jose and Poch to his credit and built that into the team. Okay, fine. He never got him over the line, but we had we were a lot more streetwise than what we are now. Jose tried to get that into us. He was a master at playing the manager, and Conte was
Conte got that from Jose.
Of course he did.
But it's that
and Conte's got that mindset, right? And
we need that. That's the mentality, the manager mentality that we need at Spurs. Listen. We are a very difficult fan base, man. It has to be said, but that could be years of torture that we've had in the last 30 years.
But
we are a very difficult fan base, and I will include myself.
But it's not our fault. One thing.
No, please, man. I'm not blaming the fans for being.
I'm just the fans have got a lot to be blamed for. But what I'm trying to say is that one thing, because and sorry, Guy, sorry to interrupt your flow, but one thing that I get really frustrated with, right, is that there's one thing blaming the fans for not protesting, not having higher standards, not doing X, Y, and Z, right? We all agree on that stuff. But one thing I don't blame the fans for is being the way we are, because we've had 20 years of distress, right? And
what I was trying to say is Tottenham Hotspur for a manager, it's not the easiest place, man. It's not the easiest place right now. It hasn't been for a while now. So a manager coming into this club, this is what I was trying to say. Any manager coming into this club has to have, before all the qualities of a manager, they have to have something about them, character-wise, knowing what they're going into a lion's den, knowing fully well that as soon as you start losing 2-3 on the bounce, man, we start going a bit mad. If we're not playing well, we're the fan, and it's not just that. We've got an absolute media circus around us as well, because they are all there ready to, with their means, taking a piss. It's because we are that club that gets ripped by everyone, by Spurs fans, but within the Spurs community and outside of Spurs, we are that club. Then you got the fans who are a bit black, they get as mad as they do, rightly so, made. And then you got the club do what they always do. So you need to have something about you as a manager coming into this club. Ange, for all his faults, he had that. Yeah,
but he didn't manage. But here's the thing: I know what you're saying. He was arrogant, obviously, and he was fighting with the media and stuff all the time and the fans. But what he didn't have is he didn't manipulate the media like a Conte and a Jose did, or charm them like a Poch did, right? Ange and Frank, one thing I can say is they're useless at managing the media and the stories come like from a player's perspective, what's coming out of Spurs. And that translates to the players because the players have just lost all discipline. They're not
The
fighting
players
for
will have the
anything.
upper hand.
But I was referring more to his character, not because I still
No,
think
but
Andrew-
they're all fighting with the fans as well under Ange.
Ange was just defensively naive, tactically naive when
No, he
to
wasn't
defending.
naive defensively. He just disregarded the defensive side of the football.
That's
Disregarded
naive.
it. That's what's driving me mad. And that's in the end, I wanted him out. He disregarded the defensive side. I can't stand that.
What he was good at, though, Iggy, what he was good at was he was a really good man manager with the players, like a motivator, talking to them.
I don't know. But still, I really don't believe that because I'll tell you why. Well, let me tell you why, and then you can. I know what you're going to say.
One player that had an issue with him, or one player that disrespected him, or one player that's ever said anything negative about him. I think they liked Ange. They were just frustrated at times that defensively we were wide open.
But what goes against that? But what goes against that still was in the first season when we went under that 10 game. Remember the last 10 games of his first season? We were like, has he lost the dressing room already? Has he lost the players already? We were saying that, right? In his second season, up until he decided to concentrate on the Europa for the last 3 games of the Europa, we were all cussing him, saying the players don't want to play for him anymore.
This was the injury crisis season, wasn't it? That's when the shit hit the fan with the defence. We had no defenders, which we blamed him for. We blamed him for that, but we had no defence. We had Dragusin.
We blamed him when he rushed Romero and Van and they both went injured at the same time.
Look at Maddison's attitude under.
We've changed the conversation. The point I'm making is, I think the difference between Ange and Frank is, Frank is very focused on defence and scared of opening up to attack, whereas Ange was all-out attack, no defence. But when you compare them as personalities, Frank just seems like a really nerdy, boring person, whereas Ange, he had a bit of fight in him, and he was a good man manager. I think he knew how to speak to the players to get an emotional reaction. That's my thinking. I could be wrong, but that's how I perceived it.
Listen,
doesn't mean one's better than the other. Doesn't mean Ange is
I just think they're both not very good by previous standards.
Maz, what scots me about Frank?
Ange's a winner, though. Ange does win trophies. In his whole life, he's won. Whether they're big enough trophies or not to be at the level of Wenger. Pep.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I won't take away. I won't argue with him on that one.
Frank's won nothing ever. Nothing.
The biggest thing for me are 2 things. Yeah, my team's character.
Nothing.
My team's character when I see them. How a manager is when I hear him before in pre-match conference and post-match conference, I don't get vibes of him in that I'm ready to go to war for him in the next 20 minutes, going out on the pitch, and then at the end of the game, I don't find watching him in I stopped watching post-match conferences because he doesn't stimulate me in any way from as a fan, or even if I imagine myself to be a player or anything like that. It doesn't stimulate me in any way or form. And the biggest factor for me, and I'll only go as far as the Aston Villa game, is his reading of the game and how he tries to interject it with the changes or tactical changes that he makes. Mate, that Aston Villa one, we just spoken about it. The changes killed it. And for me, that tells me everything. So he doesn't have the character that I want in a manager. He doesn't fit the character that's required at Spurs. And that's even before we start talking about him as a manager. Then I look at him as a manager, and I've seen the amount of shit that the players are doing on the pitch this year in terms of unrest and how they are towards him, which shows to me that there's a little bit of a lack of respect towards him as a manager. I'm not even going to go into him as a man. But and for me as a fan, his reading of the games, I've seen it at Forest, how he responded after going 2-0 down. I saw it at Aston Villa, what he did tactically after after Emery made his changes, he then made his. And the only thing that was working, you just mentioned it a minute ago, go through the middle, cuts that out, go through wide with wrong players. And I don't understand this. So there's nothing for me really that I can say is that what is it about Frank that I'm none of it. For the reasons I've just said, it's just I can't get my head around it, man. And I'm thinking now the only thing that might work now is what we got Champions League football left. How far are we going to go there? And then once we're out of that, because we will go out of the Champions League once we get into the knockout stages, let's not start beating around the bush about that. We will go out. Then the pressure will be off. Then we'll have no more pressure. Then they'll have just one game a week, and we might start doing well in the last 2-3 months of the league. And that's when everyone's going to start getting on a high again. And I'm going to be like, nah, man, we've failed everything. We have failed in every cup competition, and now we want to start gassing over the last 2 or 3 months of the league when there's nothing to play for. No, thank you. No, thank you. And listen, that's regarding him. But my beef will always, my number one beef will always be against this club and against this board and against these owners and against the lack of ambition of the football. Things that we've been talking about for years on this channel, on the previous channel, and so forth. We've spoken about this for years. Number one will always be the club ambition, which is nil. Nothing has changed my mind on that. So they're my first target. After that is everything that follows. But we can only talk about the football being played. So but that's why we lay it out thick on Frank. But don't get me wrong, Enoch and everything else, they're still going to be the number one. Nothing's changed. And I'm not going to be stupid enough to think that as soon as Bentancur got injured, or as soon as the change for Tottenham come out with their statement and Bentancur gets injured, and then we sign Gallagher the following day. Where's that energy every time we've got a player injured? Or where's that energy we got during the season? What this club, the only way that you probably have as well, the only time we have ever seen this club react to anything is when they get called out. Every time they get called out, change for Tottenham, or there's going to be a protest, there's going to be that. Every time they get called out, they react. And this is how they react. They try to say, oh, we got an injury. When have we ever acted like that? We sign a player straight after the other midfielder gets injured. Never, man. I don't get fooled by any of that stuff. And I hope Gallagher does well. I hope he's a brilliant player for us. I hope he smashes it. I know I've heard, and he listen to this. This is the kind of shit that we got to listen to. Even the number he selected to wear, he's getting ripped for that as well because that's Brennan Johnson's old number 22. He selected, and he got ripped for selecting that number. This is the levels that we go to, man. We rip players for selecting determined numbers, shirt numbers. The hell, man! It's just a number, man. Relax. Let him wear the number 22, and I hope he smashes it. But is he gonna be the solution to our midfield problems? Time will tell. I just hope he brings a little bit of leadership in that midfield because we've lacked it a little bit. And he has got leadership qualities because he's been captain at Chelsea under Pochettino. And he did really well previously at Palace. And let's hope he brings some of that at Spurs. By the way, what do you make of that signing, man? I know you're not too excited. I know
we're going to get onto it. I just wanted to wrap this. Yeah, we'll get onto it. We'll get onto it. I just wanted to wrap up.
Again, there's not really a lot to get mad about at Spurs. Like, we don't get excited about anything. Do you know? So this is what I think, right? We are more excited at the fact that we've made a signing than the fact that we've actually signed Gallagher. I think we're just more excited at the fact that we made a signing.
Iggy, can I just say one thing? Since I was making my coffee, right? Since when has the number 22 shirt been anything at Spurs? It's not as if Johnson made that shirt like, wow, I'm going to get the 22 shirt because Johnson's got it.
But the point, it's not the point. He could have picked number 32. He could have picked number 77. It doesn't matter. The shirt number is just a shirt number. It's the fact that there are people slacking him off for taking the number 22 shirt. Mate, come on, man. What is that all about?
That's what I mean.
For the sake of taking players out, you use any excuse. The next will be like, we start thinking out his haircut or the way the boots that he wears, or come on, man, or what he wears a baggy shirt
It's,
or
it's nonsense. I agree with
It's
you. I
just
agree with
fucking
you.
ridiculous, man.
So
Let the player play.
my feelings on my feelings on Gallagher is
We're having I would just throw it
when
out
we
there.
were linked with him.
Let me finish off this section first because we're jumping ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I just wanted to. In fact, you know what? Let's do chronological order. Otherwise, we
go off piece like we always do. Let's keep it structured.
So
we're trying, guys. For you guys, we're going to keep it structured. That's all. We can talk for 4 hours.
We'll go on and on.
Let's have structure, please. We want structure in this channel.
We've covered the game.
Maybe Frank can learn something.
We start from the back. We're heading towards the midfield.
We've covered the game. We've discussed, Frank, whatnot.
I'll be back in a sec.
It's interesting that Gary Lineker said when we hired Poch back in 2019, he helped the club to punch massively above their weight for years. Good luck with finding a better replacement. Ain't going to happen. So far, he's been spot on, really.
No, well, they did. They did find Jose, you can argue, right? Maybe was he on his way down, or was all that sort of stuff, right?
Well,
but Conte's an elite manager.
I think it means one that would work out for us as a club and kind of replicate Poch and go to the next level. But after the game, after the brawl, after all the stats came out, there was a couple of players and one player and a manager wanted to speak. So Frank, who a lot of people have praised, though he's never blamed the manager or injuries, he came out and said he'd like to see the social media fans or journalists try and manage the current squad. I would like to see guys on social media or you journalists experience pressure. It's not easy.
What kind of a That's the first time I've ever seen. What kind of a stupid statement is that?
Yeah, well, when he says the current squad, he's referring to the injuries. He's referring to the caliber of players. So he's coming. No
one's saying. I don't think I've heard anyone say, right, on Frank, right, forget about previous managers. Frank, you've got it easy, mate. It's an easy job managing Spurs. Like who said that? Which journalist has said to Frank, "Oh, Frank, don't worry about the injuries, mate. I know you've got a lot of injuries, but don't worry about those, mate. It's an easy job. You'll be fine. You got Mateus telling the team you're going to be perfectly fine." I mean, like he's acting like people are setting him unrealistic expectations. No, we're not. We're just saying when can we expect not to lose and actually play decently for once? That's what everyone is saying to him.
I personally could manage this squad better.
I think you could. I think you could. I'd be a brilliant number 2, by the way, because I wouldn't sit there like Cochrane just taking your notes down. You know what I mean? I'll at least get you a cup of tea and a coffee.
Yeah, well, tea. Yeah, I do love a tea. Romero, our captain, he came out after the game and he basically said that we've been lied to and upstairs are lies. And he's come under a lot of flack from the fan base for calling out the board on the basis that it's unprofessional and it's not his job to do so. I had a big argument with Lubo, Johnny and Sean on Monday on YouTube saying, no, Romero is right to call out the board because no one else in this club is speaking. And the argument is, but it's not his job. But then the person whose job it is isn't doing their job. So, and fans want to hear the truth. So you've got Thomas Frank calling out social media and journalists for not being able to do the job that he's trying to do. And Romero's calling out the board and Enoch, and some fans aren't happy that he's done that. So where are you at with the calling out? Do you think Frank's right to call out the journalists and the fans? Do you think Romero's right to call out Enoch and the board? Where are you at with that, guys?
I'll say my piece on it, and then I'll shut up for let JP and Iggy and you take it. I heard the argument and discussion, and I thought that what I heard from the other your colleagues was an utter disgrace. What we're saying that we don't want whistleblowers, right? Telling the fans what's actually happening at Spurs. They just want us all to suffer and go mad and not have a peep out of Spurs, all in the name of them being professional. You know, you shouldn't have whistleblowers because they should be a good employee and just shut up. No, what nonsense? How do they know that they haven't? Romero hasn't had words with the manager and the hierarchy. Maybe that he had enough. Maybe that was a straw that broke the camel's back, and he had to say something. And the fact that other players are joining in, right, indicates that obviously something's very wrong at the club. We should. What he's done is his way of communicating to the fans, maybe saying, "Look, guys, we're trying for you, but there's things out of our control." And you know, if that's unprofessional and they feel that players shouldn't have any recourse to air their opinions, then I think that's madness, because then you wouldn't have whistleblowers. You know, and thank God we've got whistleblowers, not only in football, but in society in general, in companies. Thank fucking God we've got whistleblowers. You know, their position going against him just because they don't like him personally for whatever reason, right? Is a typical, it's a typical sort of establishment corporate attitude towards people that are shining a light on the truth on what's happening, right? It's you know, he's saying it for the good of the club. He's not saying it for the downfall of the club. If he wanted the downfall of the club and Tottenham Hotspur, I'm sure he would just leave. So I was with you, Stell, in that whole argument. I thought what what they were saying was, to be honest with you, was disgraceful.
Johnny,
to go in and insinuate to go in and insinuate that he committed this immortal sin, right? When we know what a dumpster fire Tottenham Hotspur is from all levels, right? Just to blame him, right? I think it's nonsense. Every player's to blame, not just Romero. Maybe Romero's a little bit more to blame than the others, but even so, at least he's got the balls to say something. And for Lubo to come out, sorry, I'm going on right now. For Lubo to come out, right, and then say, "Oh, look at what Conte did," that didn't exactly help. It did bloody help. It helped galvanise the fan base against this ownership that's destroyed the club for the last 25 years.
Do you know what? Maz makes a good point, right? If people don't ever speak up, then you don't get whistleblowers. I don't know if you don't watch the news, but in America right now, there's a massive scandal, billions of welfare and child payments.
Shocked to hear that in America.
It's all been, I know, fancy that America. But apparently it's blowing up. It's like the biggest story. Mario was telling us about it last week as well. And it's because whistleblowers have brought it to everyone's attention. I think the point I was trying to make to Sean Lubo, no, not I think, I know. The point I was trying to make to Sean Lubo and Johnny was that if nobody at this club speaks up, if nobody says anything, then what? And what Lubo said to me was, but then it's the job of the captain to go and speak to the board. And I said, what if he has already? What if he's done that? And then one of them mentioned that he has spoken to Paratici about it. I'm like, and where's that got us? So I think if Vinay, who's come in to talk to the fans, have better fan liaison, be more engaging, he's happy to talk at the start of the season.
He said that, though, didn't he? We're going to be more.
At the start of the season, when pre-season was good, and we're beating Man City and burning the league. Oh, Vinay's out. He's talking. Hi guys. When the shit hits the fan, we go out the Carabao Cup. We're tumbling in the lead. We're getting banged up by mediocre teams. We're out the FA Cup. You haven't heard a word from Vinay. And this was my point to them. If the board was doing their job properly and giving us some form of communication, just someone, even Frank, then fine. But when no one's doing it, I want my captain to speak up, Because
Just one more thing, and then
they think it's
look,
unprofessional.
I think Sean did raise a lot of good points, right? And in general, I did agree with what Sean was saying. However, given the state of the club, given where we are as a club right now, given all of the issues, all of the disarray, all of the infighting and everything, that is when you need your whistleblowers to come out and put their head above the parapet and call things out for what they are. Because as you know, there's two sayings: by their fruits you shall know them, right? And the truth will set you free. And that's what Romero did. He told the truth, right? Sunlight is, I'm going to say another saying: sunlight is the best disinfectant. You're better to get the truth out there, right? Than keep it in.
A bad truth is better than a good lie. Do you remember who said that?
Well, we should do a show where we just come out with all these sayings. Right?
It was Conte that said it. A bad truth is better than a good
I don't
lie.
think it's too much that, but I definitely think that the board should be coming out and actually.
JP, how
something,
long
right?
have I
And we
said
have-
about this
exactly,
club?
We have
This
said it.
club
We said it
not-
last season. All of
How
last
many
season
times
we
have
were
I
saying
said
it,
that we
the season
don't have
before that.
anybody?
Iggy, let JP finish his point. Sorry,
It's just purely the fact that, do you know what? The manager gets targeted every single game, right? And they say to every press conference, ask him all the questions. He doesn't know. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know. He's not going to know at that level, right? There's no director of football that comes out apart from after the window's done to say, oh yeah, we had a good window and we tried this and we tried that and it didn't work. Nobody else comes out. The fans are now getting it in the neck as well. Sorry, the players are now getting it in the neck as well. And I think Romero just got to a point of going, we're getting it in the neck. The manager's getting it in the neck. It's not our fault. We've spoken about this. We've asked this. We've asked that, left, right, and centre. And he's just lost it and said, you know what? I'm going to call people out. And fair play to him.
Big up,
Big
James.
up,
Welcome to the
James.
show. Yeah, Iggy, what did you want to add to that?
No, all I was gonna say, look, at the end of the day, he's not just he's our club captain, first and foremost. He's like you said, the players have been getting in the neck, and for a lot of large parts of it, rightly so. So, but amongst them, they're all going to be voicing their opinions. There's a discontent and a disconnecting between, and I've said this many a time, disconnection between manager, club, and players. Something that we haven't had for a very long time. We probably touched the peak of that in that Europa Cup win, but up until that point and after that, we've not had it anymore. And we briefly had it with Conte. So that unison amongst them all has gone. So now you've got a player who's seen the suffering of the players, of his own players, his own teammates, who are probably moaning to him about it, how nobody at the club ever speaks up, or when they do, like you said. Vinaya came out when we won the Europa Cup, saying, this is going to be new Spurs. And since then, we've been doing so bad, he's gone missing.
Oh, Zippo.
Yeah, always gone all there. But this is what I do. And this is when, remember, JP, when I used to say about how's the manager got to always answer this question with Conte without having to answer about players injured. And it's like, and remember when he even said, ask the doctors. What are you asking me for? Ask the doctors. Do you remember he used to say that? So, and now it's said the doctor should be there to answer those questions. The club director, football director should be to speak on behalf of the club. And then the manager should only be speaking about football, nothing else. Nothing else, because everything else is out of his remit. So why we still having these situations? Because we never address them. So what Romero did, look, I'm not going to go into what Lubo or Sean or anyone else said in Spurs, right? Because I didn't hear what they said. I'm just going by what the boys are saying here. And also to go to say, and then they're not even into the sponsor it. So I find it pointless to even bring up what they said. However, I will say this: the club captain should speak up, because at the very least, in that moment, they give us a little bit of insight of what we kind of already saw. We're seeing it amongst the players. We're seeing there's unrest. But the fact that he then spoke and actually put it out there and calling them lies and stuff like that, it's like, oh, so it's not just me. They are lies. We are seeing it. what we are seeing is correct. He's only just shed a little bit of light in that. So there's nothing wrong with what he did. What's worse for me, above all else, what's worse is that he's been then asked to go back to his Instagram, back to his ex, or
Edit
whatever
it.
he did, and re-edit it, or rechange the wording of it. That to me is somebody that's been told by the club to tone it down, silence it, and go and change that. But it's too fucking late because we've already
Do you
seen
know what,
everything.
Iggy?
Why you then
I
go and
think
tell him
he
to?
did
That's
it.
worse.
I think he edited it on purpose, knowing that everyone was going to know
Everyone's
he
gonna. No one's.
he was being told to do that. That
No
just
one's
makes it
fucking
more
stupid.
obvious,
No
right?
one's stupid here, man. No one is stupid.
But it makes it more obvious as well,
This is
right?
the level of how. This is where I find it disrespectful, because then they're taking a piss out of people's intelligence as if they're not going to work things out, or they're not going to understand what's happening here. So for me, we're going out the wrong way. You should be glad, like you should be glad that they show that a player has come out and shown us a bit of insight of what's going on inside their workplace, because we don't get to see enough light of that. So for me, there's nothing wrong with what he done. Obviously, like it's only from a club's point of view, it's only going to add to the unrest. But if there's unrest already there, then they should be sorting it out. So that's where I'm at with that. I've got no problem with what Romero said. And at the end of the day, man, football's emotionally, people are emotionally invested in football. So sometimes when you speak and you're acting on emotion, sometimes you're not going to say what, but at least it comes out of you. You know, it comes out of you, and then after that, you can revisit and say, look, man, I shouldn't have said this, I should have said that, whatever. We all do it, but at the end of the day, man, it's out of your system. It comes out. So,
do you know, Iggy, do you know what gets me right? And this is why I argue with Sean, Lubo, and Johnny on this. On the one hand, especially Lubo and Johnny, every week want to tell me, and Danny K and everyone else, the players are shit. The players are shit. The reason they're shit. Sorry, the reason we're not doing well is because they're all shit. Yeah, when they see a shit performance from the shit players and they start having a go at the players, well, hold on. Why are you having a go at the players and booing them if they're shit? If they're shit, why are your expectations up here? Surely, if they're all shit, you should expect to see shit. But when they see shit from the people they call shit, they're upset that they're playing shit. So I'm like, hold on a minute. How do you get away with?
That's a bit shit, isn't it?
How do you get away with then having to go with the players, and when the players then say, "Hold on, it's not us, it's them upstairs," you get upset.
It's like when the boxer's punching, and then the boxer's been getting licks all game. He gives one back. So, whoa, what are you punching me for, mate? What's going on there? Why are you punching me? You're like, mate, you've been smashing me for the last 20 minutes.
Mate, they're so desperate.
This is everywhere, though. This is everywhere still.
Mate,
this is societal.
No, but Iggy, because they made their bed with Frank. This is the we just need a coach brigade, right? We just need a coach brigade have unraveled. They've completely come unstuck. So they've spun the whole conversation into it's all the players. It must be the players. Everything you're seeing is just the players. No, the players aren't great, but the manager's not doing a good job either. They can't. That's where they struggle. That's where they struggle.
Listen, I've got no problem with saying
that.
So they go after
Romero. So they go after World Cup winning, Copa America winning, Europa Cup winning, Player of the Cup final winning, and then they go to me, but Romero, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. When we were 2-0 down to Newcastle, who scored a really good to get an equaliser? Romero. What do you mean he doesn't care? He doesn't.
Listen, you can question the methods.
Was a banging bicycle kick.
Yeah, but you know what? With Romero,
he has bozo moments. We all know he has bozo moments.
With Romero, you can question his methods. Sometimes you can't question his methods.
Look, it's not. Look, we all know.
You can't question that he don't give a shit. You can't.
We all know that Romero. But the thing is,
he fix up. He doesn't try hard enough.
Romero, right, is nowhere near some of the level of defenders that we've had in the past at this club. I.e., Yang Vertonghen and Toby, right? Is nowhere near king levels of quality. But I don't. And he does do a lot of stupid things, right? And but exactly. If you're going to put in front of me Sanchez, Dyer, and Longley, I'll take Romero all day long, and his foibles.
I do think, Maz, if you had put Romero in the team that both Jan and Toby were playing in, I think he would have been just as good. Maybe not better.
No,
but
no
Yeah.
chance.
It's
No
better
I think he
chance.
would have
around
been.
you, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, that's opinion, but for me,
Hold
those
on,
two were
hold on,
like
hold
god
on,
level
hold on.
defenders.
If Pochettino was the manager, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
If
talking
Poch
about.
was manager, maybe. But listen, James, we're currently talking about.
That is opinion. That's just opinions. We can never get the truth out of that one. Big up, James.
No, we can't.
Yeah,
we
mate.
can't. Mate, we're currently talking about. We're going to get onto the transfers in a minute. We're currently talking about. Was Frank right to call out the fans to say, "Well, you think you can manage this squad?" And is Romero right to call out Enoch and
Call them
say
liars.
they're-
Call them
they're-
liars.
So, well, for me, yeah, I think Frank's kind of calling out people and telling. Because he said, didn't he say something like, "I'd like to see how the general public would deal with the pressure of fans," or something like that, or he said something along those lines.
I've got it here. He said,
Mate.
"I'd like to see you guys on social media." And you
Say it,
journalists-
James. I like to see him change a tap and do some
Yeah.
plumbing, eh?
Yeah, come and
Absolutely,
do my job.
mate. The pressure of being, yeah, but it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
His pressure, I'd take his pressure when he's on 100 grand a week. You know what I mean? Like when we're trying to do our ends meet and we've
Well,
got our own
actually,
pressure.
he's on 200 grand a week. Just to
But,
clarify.
You know what, that's-
you know what I mean? Mate, I'm sorry, pressure. When we're out there grafting every day and you're trying to make ends meet, that's pressure. So to say you can't do this, like I'm Superman, you can't deal with this pressure, that's nonsense. As for Romero, so I come at it a slightly different angle. I think that he's done the right thing if he's done certain steps first. And by that, I mean, how do we know that he hasn't been banging on the owner's door
Yeah,
saying,
he's-
you
yeah,
told
said
me,
that.
you told me that we was going to sign XYZ, kick on. I only agreed this because you promised me XYZ. And then the following week, he's gone, look, transfer window open. What's the plan? Nothing. The week after, well, what's the plan? Nothing. Like, I agree that potentially he could have done it in a different way. I completely agree, but at the same time, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know if he's been banging on the door and telling them every week for the last 3 weeks, what's the plan? What's the plan? What's the plan? We're losing, and then he goes, right, enough's enough. I call him out. So
Yeah.
I think within reason, I said, I think, yeah, he could have done it in a different way. But at the same time, when it's your life, your career, and you've had better offers to go elsewhere, and you stick around with this false hope, it was the same with Harry Kane and that gentleman's agreement, wasn't it? Right, he didn't come out and say nothing, but again, it's false promises. It's like me, like taking on somebody and promising him a certain wage, and then never giving it to him. Eventually, he's going to start slagging me off to everybody he knows. It's just how it is. So I don't read too deep into that. I think unless you know the full story, you can't really have an opinion.
And then listen, and James, it's not like this club is not known for lying. Let's be honest. It's not like it's not like we don't have a history of doing this with players. You just mentioned too, Romero came previously. How many more have been there before? They've been like Mike says, false promises. How often does that happen? We've got a history of it. We have known. We've been caught lying so many times. So it's in our history of doing it. So listen, I don't have a problem with players speaking up, man, because sometimes it rattles the people that it needs to be rattling. It does us a favour as fans, but it rattles the people that should be that.
Here's a brilliant example. Kane, when Levy lied to him, right? And he basically stole 2-3 years of his life. You know, instead of him moving to Man City, he stayed at Spurs. What did that show? It showed that the board and Tottenham aren't fucking trustworthy. Whereas Kane, from all we've seen of Kane, he's a very trustworthy person in the way he behaves, in his attitude towards the club he plays for. He's a top professional. So but at that time, I remember the YouTube shows, right, where some fans were blaming Kane. Yeah, saying, "Oh, well, you need to be more of a grown-up. You know, you should never trust anyone." He says, right, and there is an element of truth to that. Of course, he's a grown-up and he's an adult. He should take legal advice on anything like that. But what's the difference between what came out with that story and what Romero done? It's the same kind of thing.
I agree within reason. I know it sounds like we said like be a bit of a grown up, but when you've been at the club since like 10, you've known this geezer for 25 years.
Exactly.
You kind of you do naturally go, oh yeah, he's looking out for me in his best way
Gentleman's
or X,
agreement,
Y, Z.
yeah.
Precisely, James. Precisely. Yeah.
So I think that the whole you can't call out whoever you want. I think sometimes a little backlash is good, and it's a bit of a kick up the arse that the club need. Listen, if the way he worded it was wrong or what he did was wrong, fair enough. But he could have come out after a game. I think the problem is for me is I wouldn't care if he said that so much if he come out after every loss as a captain and said, "Yep, weren't acceptable today," and address the fans, address the performances. But he don't. It's normally everybody else but him. Van der Ven, Vicario has been left to the press. God knows how many times. Same with Van der Ven. I think we've seen everyone but him. And then people kind of use the phrase of, yeah, but his English isn't very good. And then he'll come out and do an interview in English. And you're like, well, obviously it's okay. So I think if you kind of come out and speak on the board when you think they're doing wrong, then maybe you should front up to the problems that you're doing or your team's doing. And you should be a captain in that front as well as speaking out in front of the club as well.
But what if you think the problems are a stem of what the board is failing to do?
Well, yeah, but within reason, so is he part of the problem then? Then he needs to take responsibility for those losses.
I think
You can't
James
just say, well,
is talking about
it's
at the
all
end
on
of
the
each
ball.
game, right?
Yeah, but how? If the manager wants to play defensive, pragmatic football and it's stifling the team, what do you want? What can Romero do about that?
Well, actually put a good performance in.
Yeah, but the point is that if we're not playing enough attacking football to score goals to win games, what do you want Romero to do about that? He's not an attacker. He's not a midfielder.
But he could keep a clean sheet and do his part, couldn't he? Say, look, boys, I'm doing everything I can. This isn't working.
All right, but he wasn't on the pitch against Villa and we lost.
No, but I'm saying generally over the whole course of the season, the guy's made numerous mistakes that have led to numerous goals.
Yeah, but what you're doing here now, James, is you're kind of pointing the finger of blame on Romero. You're saying
But what I'm saying is, if you're going to be big enough to start blaming everybody else, you have to take some criticism yourself. And he hasn't taken no criticism. Every time he's made a mistake or let the team down or whatever, he's not the guy that comes out after the game and says, "Look, boys, this ain't good enough. We know it ain't good enough," or whatever it is, and come out and kind of confront the fans. He's the first one. And in fairness, he's the first one to walk down the tunnel whenever they're booing. He's the first one off. Last week, Mickey van der Ven talking to people, Porro talking to people, Polini is coming, and he's already gone.
But that doesn't mean. Yeah, but the problem is.
Hold on, Maz, 1 second. If Romero went over and had a fight with the fans, it would be the biggest story. But when the others do it, we say it and that's it, done. For me, right, the way I look at it is this. I think Romero is being made into a scapegoat. This has been happening for years. We did this with Son. Son was made a scapegoat for 2 years. Now he's gone. Everyone's crying. Oh, we haven't replaced Son, but you all scapegoated him. What's happened with Romero? This season, if I was to say to you or any other fan, name me what players have been good, you ain't going to mention more than 2 players. There's only 2 players you're going to mention, most probably. So the whole team has been rubbish this season. And I've said this many a time. When you've got 1 or 2 players that aren't doing well, point the finger at those players. Point the finger at Romero, point the finger at Porro. When the whole team has been pants, you need to look at the person that's managing and coaching them if they're this bad.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that though. I'm not saying
that's not what's happening, James. But James, this isn't what's happening. What's happening is Romero's not allowed to speak because he's not playing well. The whole team's not playing well. They're all playing shit. So who can speak? Then?
No, but I'm not saying. No, but I'm not saying that. I'm just from my point of view. I'm only speaking for myself. And myself is, if you're big enough to criticise the board, you need to be big enough to take some criticism yourself. Every time we lose, he never comes out and confronts us. He always Mickey van der Ven doing the interview or XYZ. He should take some of that responsibility.
Let me cut at it from a slightly different angle. I think that you see this all the time. When a whistleblower comes out and who they are is public, you always see the stories trying to discredit them, right? But there should have been this, there should have been that. They've got agendas, they've got biases. You know, you see that in politics, in the corporate world. Whenever something bad happens and whistleblowers come out, right? That is now what's happening with Romero, is they're using other stuff around him as a justification of why he shouldn't have whistleblowed. How about separate one from the other. You can criticize him as a player. I agree with you, right, on all the things you said. But the fact that he did whistleblow does a service to the club, not for maybe the board and the owners, but for the fans that pay their money to go and see it, to understand that there's bigger problems at the club than just what it seems like.
No, I agree with what you're saying, and I agree that everybody else, and that's their opinion. But I was asked my opinion, so I don't care what everybody else judges him by, what everyone else says about him. I think he's a good player. I've never scapegoated him once. I just said, in my opinion, if you're going to be big enough to criticise somebody else when you haven't had a great season yourself, you should be coming out as captain and confronting the fans at some point, and like the press conferences after. He's never anywhere to be seen.
Okay, so then that's fine. But I think
none of our South American players do any interviews.
But it's true, right? But
then he shouldn't be captain.
And the same thing though, James. Where the hypocrisy though does come in is that okay, but why isn't the same vigor then being applied to Van der Ven?
Because he is the one that comes out and confronts everybody. What do you mean?
In what way?
He's gone and started fighting with the fans. For me, that's unacceptable.
Yeah,
right?
I said as well. This is where
that's worse than what Romero done, by the way.
Absolutely, and I actually said the biggest thing for me and the turning point for me and Frank was not turning point because I just stay till the end of the season and see what happens. That's how I feel. But for me, the point is, you drop Basuma for being late, and you've got people, Spence throwing his shirt on the floor, Mickey Van der Ven walking off and starting fights with.
I think that's worse than what Romero did.
It is. But for me, that summed up Frank for me in the respect of how weak-minded he is. He's big enough to say, right, Basuma, you ain't playing anymore because it's Basuma. But when you've got the big guns in Spence because there's no left back and Van der Ven because he's our best player or best centre back, you're too scared to drop them and make a point out of those guys. I personally, if he come out and said was unacceptable, Ben Davies is left back, Dan Sow is centre back purely because of what they did last game, I would respect him a lot more and go, okay, this guy's in charge. Whereas now I don't think this guy's in charge.
Yeah, I agree.
But that whole Basuma thing, it was almost he came in because that was straight after he came in, right? That was him making a point, right? Trying to put his foot down and show a bit of authority and stuff. Now that he's in the thick of it, that authority ain't there anymore. I think James has got a point in terms of previous games, and maybe it's just that no one said it, right? Even though we were thinking of it.
This is the issue I've got with the whole thing. Who is allowed to speak up against the board then? In this club, who is allowed? The board aren't speaking. Vinay isn't communicating. Frank ain't going to do shit because he's a yes man. So who is going to speak up? Because I have
no problem with the captain speaking up. I'm happy for the captain to speak up, but he can't go around sort of saying like saying things and not taking responsibility for himself. That's all I'm saying. I want him to speak up. I want him to call those guys out.
How can he take responsibility?
Well, after a game when they lose, don't be the first one to run off down the tunnel.
Right, so if Romero, so hold on, so just I'm not trying to call you out, I'm trying to understand. So if Romero stays on the pitch, claps the fans for 5 minutes, then goes off, it's okay for him now to call out the board because he's clapped the fans first.
No, but what it is there's certain things that he could come out and confront he could confront the media. Like you never see him come out and say, right, we played bad today. Sorry, boys. The only way I can compare it, I think it was Guimaraes, is it from Newcastle?
Guimaraes, yeah.
Come out when they lost to Sunderland. I'm so sorry, guys. That's the worst I've played, worst the team's played, unacceptable, blah, 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 blah. But it's not. It's just silence. And then it's like, well, you're calling everybody else out. Well, I would have liked you to come out and actually apologise to the fans yourself. You're captain of this team.
I think still, James's point is, in previous games, about like Brentford or Everton or like previous games that we've lost at, he's putting a bad performance in those.
There's loads of games, guys. We ain't got
He should have come out as the captain, not owned it himself.
Romero's put out 2 public apologies this year. 2 public apologies. He goes, we need to do better. I'm sorry. This isn't good enough.
He doesn't come out and actually speak.
But this is the thing. Fans will ignore when he apologises, but when he calls out the board, how dare you? How dare you? Pot calling.
But again, you're judging whatever people are saying. I never said how dare he. I said he's okay to say that.
No. You said he needs to take some ownership. He's apologised twice this season. Porro's apologised 3 times this season.
It should have been
He has
more.
apologised publicly on X.
On what?
So
Sorry.
what more can you do for
On-
the
on-
fans to say, you know
On
what?
what?
You're allowed to
What's
call
he
out
apologized?
Enid.
What's he apologised on? Sorry.
X.
For the
X.
performance of the team. Yeah.
No, but he did it on X. Did you say?
Yeah, just like he called out the board on X. Same
Yeah, but
platform.
yeah, but with fans, like, what? Why is he not apologising to us fans face to face or on a camera or after a game? But why is it always like an X or a Twitter or an Instagram or whatever it is? It's I don't know.
Maybe
I just
that's
feel
where
like
but maybe that's where he's a player feels most comfortable to speak his mind.
But
A
then
lot
he
of them
shouldn't
do
be
it on
captain.
social media platforms, man, because only 1 or 2 players go and do it at the end of the match. They probably like share the responsibility of having to speak to the public
Can I-
on TV.
James, can I-
But
You
then
say
on
that,
social media,
you say that, mate. And look. I mean, I know you like Vicario. I like Vicario. That guy made a mistake, got hounded by the whole crowd. Who did the interview after that game?
yeah, he did. He's come out.
Exactly.
I saw it. I saw it.
And
Listen,
that for
man,
me, that's what
don't get me
Romero
started on
doesn't have.
Vicario, man. Don't get me started.
So
on
the
that.
issue
that's
is,
all I want.
the issue is because Romero hasn't apologised on a TV camera. That's the core of the problem. Then
No, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to downplay what we're trying to say.
You're praising Vicario for apologising live on a camera, but you're criticising Romero.
No, what I'm saying is he made a mistake. Come straight out and said, "I'm so sorry, guys. Like that's my fault. Everything's on me." Romero will go missing for a few days and then put it out on text message. That's just bullshit. Grow up, man. If you're big enough to start slamming everybody else, come out and say yourself.
So that's what I'm saying to you. So if he makes a mistake and we lose, you want him to come out on live TV and say, "Guys, my fault. I made a mistake. It cost us." That's
Absolutely, yeah. If
And
you're
if he
my
does
captain,
that-
yeah.
If he does that, then he's allowed to call out Enoch. Is that where we're at?
No, I said he's allowed to call out Enoch. I just said that I feel he would have more right to kind of start slamming everybody else when you've made mistakes. It's like him making mistakes and then the manager coming out and slamming him saying, "Yeah, he let us down again today. Yeah, he let us down again today." People would go, "That's a bit harsh."
I think if it had come out from Van der Ven, it might have been portrayed differently because Van der Ven does put his face in front of the cameras and says if then he probably had more of a standpoint against the board to say what Romero just said.
And can I say, I think Romero was right saying that as well.
For all those people that put their face,
You're a joker. You're a fucking joker. This is a Danny Kaye in disguise.
He's the biggest flip flop.
I said it at the start. What did I say at the start?
No, he
What did I
did
say
say
at the start?
he did say at the start. Romero was right doing it.
Thank you, JB. Thank you, JB. Stell's got this problem. It's called selective hearing. He only hears what he wants.
Mate, this is what Lumo does every single week.
I said straight away, I think he said the right thing and I respect it. But I think I think he'd have more credit in the bank if he could.
But hold on a minute. No. This is I hear this bullshit all the time. They say, "Oh, this is what I believe," but I'm going to spend the next 99 minutes arguing the complete opposite of what I believe, and then trying to say, "Yeah, but hold on a minute, I caveated it when I first said it." No, you just put a strong case as to why Romero shouldn't have done what he's done, but you believe he done the right thing. So why are you putting the case forward that he shouldn't have done it?
Did you not listen to what I said? Did you have selective hearing as well?
No, I'm challenging what you said. Why have we gone round the house? Why have we gone round the houses on it?
So what I said, Maz, let me tell you again what I said. I said I think what he said was correct, but a lot of people wouldn't be judging him if he actually took responsibility.
The thing that you accused, hold on, stop. So the thing that you accused Stell of doing, right, of putting other people's opinions in your mouth, you're doing the same thing, but from the other angle.
Yeah.
What the
fuck? Next
I did tell you I was going to do that before I explained it.
Dear, oh dear. Okay.
Next subject.
I think fans are split on the whole subject. Is Romero right or wrong? I think
also like fans. There's a large proportion of fans that kind of don't like him anyway. And I think that's just fuel. That's just fuel. You know?
But to be honest with you, JP, I've heard shit recently from fans on Van der Ven, and he's been loved by everyone. But But all of a sudden, it's
really?
like, hang on, if he's going to behave like that, or if he's going to talk like that, he can fuck off out of our club. These are the things that I'm reading. And I'm like, hang on a minute. He was like the hero of Bilbao, like not long ago.
If it wasn't for him, we
The
wouldn't
best
have won
player,
this thing.
one of the most not one of our best players, but also one of the most likable players that we've had in this club. And now we're turned because he's not behaving right. He's starting to talk out of terms. You know, he walked off against Chelsea. He started to at Bournemouth. He went square faced offering the fan out. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Have you ever asked yourself why this player, for so long, since he's been at this club, has been an example? He's been on and off the field
Exemplary.
impeccable, and in the last few months, he's blown a gasket a couple of times. Is that not that give you an indication that the player is clearly not tranquil? He's not calm in the workplace. Is there something that's rattling him? Let's try and evidence what the issue is, and try and make this player, bringing him his mentally, I'm talking about, bring him back to where he was for the last 18 months? Or we're just going to say, because he's behaving like this the last couple of times, get the fuck out of my club? What kind of shit is that, mate? If someone's been impeccable at your workplace for 2 or 3 years and he's had a wobble 6 months where he's starting to get rattled a little bit, he's getting square faced with some of the players or staff, you don't pull him up and say, what's going on, mate? Talk to me. What's happening? Because for 2 years you've been amazing. What's happened the last few months that there's been a shift? Or we're just ignore that we're not seeing it, let it play out and say at the end of the season, if this is what you want to do to get out of this fucking club, go fuck off to Liverpool, go to Real Madrid. Who gives a shit? What are you talking about, man? That's one of our best assets, one of our best players, and you're telling them to fuck off instead of saying, oh, let's bring it back a bit. Yeah, look, we're aware of the situation. We're aware of what's going on at the club. We are clearly where we don't want to be, and we haven't been for the last 18 months, but we are putting things in place. We will start working on this, start getting this player, get the quality of the club up, and we hope into the next couple of years be challenging for better, for more than what we're certainly challenging right now. That's what you should do as a club. But of course, the club is never present. The club never speaks. The club clearly lies to the players, because otherwise we wouldn't have so many unrattled players in the team. So where we should be aware, perhaps they've been promised where we would be, we're clearly not. And we're not likely to be there anytime soon. So forgive the players for being a little bit rattled, especially our better players, who then attack the board, who then get fucking square off to the fans who are giving them shit, and they can't reply back because they're not able to perform and give the fans what they want with results of the pitch because of the shit that we got going on off it. So just try and resolve that, man, at this club. I see the club for what it is. I see the club for what it is, which is why I don't go to the matches anymore. I don't do videos in the mornings anymore, because I'm not happy with my fucking club. And for me to express my unhappiness at the club every morning on a 10-minute video just to piss the fan base off, or just to create a few likes and subscribers, it ain't for me, mate. I ain't fucking doing it. So we need to really be pointing the finger at where it should be pointed at, and not get pissed off at the players or the manager, who's clearly not good enough. We know this, but that's a different context. That's in isolation. And the bottom line is, nobody at this club, manager or player, they are not being put in a context where they can succeed. That's why managers keep failing at this club. It doesn't matter who it is, even ones that win a trophy, they still get fucking sacked. So the bottom line is, we are not built to get these guys to be successful. This is not just Frank's failure. This is a club failure, because we got rid of a manager who clearly wasn't good enough, and we hired another one who's clearly just as bad or worse. And the bottom line is, it don't matter who you bring in at this club, whether it's Frank, whether it's Ange, whether it's Conte, Mourinho, or anyone the fuck else. The bottom line is, we are not built to succeed, because this club has not built the circumstances to succeed. It's purely and simple, man. I can't break it down any more than what I have. So it doesn't matter. This is going to be a story that will keep continuing. You know what it is? The actors and the directors and the producers change, but the fucking results are always the same. Who's that stem from? Who do we point the finger at? Fuck them, man. Sorry, boys.
I'll blame Romero.
Nah, it's bullshit, man. Nah,
If only
you know
he came
what?
out in interviews after the
Trumpet
game.
player as well, man. Like, I've got no problem with the trumpet guy himself.
Trumpet
But
out.
fuck that
Get the
trumpet,
trumpet
man.
out.
Why do we have a trumpet at the beginning of the game? Why do we play this music? Pump the
He's going off with the
stadium up?
trumpet guy now.
He's lost the plot now.
You know-
He's lost the plot.
No. Do you know what? Why do we go to the matches? And I was there with you for the
What about
Sunderland
beer from
game.
the bottom?
We go in
What
there.
about beer from
We
the
go
bottom?
in there.
Why do we
Everyone's
need stewards? Why have we got stewards? What's the point of stewards?
no. Still, we go to the game. We go into the stadium. We go into the stadium. The fucking music's pumping up madness. Then the Premier League tune comes out as the players walk out. Then the trumpet guy starts trumping away, and you think to yourself, "Great, what a great atmosphere, brilliant." And then the fucking game starts. You're like, what was the point of having him playing that fucking trumpet? It's like as he's leading us to the fucking death or something. You know what I mean? That's I don't get it,
You
man.
forgot the light show, Iggy. You forgot the light show.
Oh, the light shows, the music that drowns the booze. I've seen them all, man. Seen them all. This has all been tried and tested. And to be honest with you, I don't lose sight of who the blame of it is there, because it stems from the very same people that should want this club to succeed. The owners, they earn money, they put money, and I don't understand. And it ain't like we don't spend money. That's the thing that kills me. We spend shitloads of money, but why we choose to spend it so badly is beyond me. We have a club that's in the top 10 richest club in the world. In the world, man. The richest club. We're in the top 10. That's unbelievable. And to be honest, and how we can still have a mentality. We have directors of football. How many of them? Directors of on the board. How many of them? Fucking hell. Real Madrid, one of the most successful clubs in the world. Do you know how many people they have on their board? Do you know how many people that have control of the club? The president, the director of football, and the coach. 3 people. 3. They're the 3 that answer to everything else. Everyone else does all the business and all of that shit in the background. But 3 people on football matters. The president is the number 1. Director of football is the link between the coach and the president. And then you have the coach. That's it. And that's the number 1 club in world football.
We have just got rid of one geezer, which is good.
We got rid of Levy. He was the problem. Levy's gone.
Actually, hold on.
Paratici gone to Fiorentina. Do you think we've resolved those problems by getting rid of Levy and Paratici?
Let's get onto these subjects, right? So we are going in order. So
we haven't even spoke about Gallagher yet.
After the comments, Romero.
Now, what you lot been doing for the last hour and a half?
Gone off track as we always do.
Waffling. No. It's been a good show actually. So after the announcements of Frank and Romero calling everyone and anyone out, we then heard the news that Bentancur adds to the injury list of everyone else. So that I've lost track of who's injured and who's back, guys. So I'm just going to say Bentancur's out for at least 3 months. So that's his season done.
He's done, by the way. He's done. Bentancur's done. Too many injuries now. That's done.
Him and Madison, I guess.
Didn't we sign a new contract?
This chart on Sky Sports shows the days lost from injuries and illness, and that red dot in the far corner is Tottenham smashing it out of the park, destroying the league. Do you know if there was a league title, we'd win it every year?
999. That is still
999. It's unbelievable.
Joke.
But I just want to remind everyone, it's Angie's fault, right? This is Angie's fault. Everything's Angie's fault, right? Just
but in fairness, 895 were Ange.
Yeah, of course. So more injuries, which then spiraled onto the announcement from Change for Tottenham. Enough's enough. It's been 2 weeks. Injuries are piling up. Results are getting worse. Time for a protest. So this Saturday, here we go again. We're back again. Time for change. We need more change, as much change as possible. And the day after the announcement, here we go.
Funny that.
Sancho, the 19-year-old Roberto Carlos is coming to Spurs. And Bosch, Pirlo, the English Pirlo, Conor Gallagher, he's coming to Spurs.
Listen, no piss taking at new signings, man. We haven't even seen them play yet.
One second, Iggy.
You called him Pirlo.
I'm teeing it all up for you, man. Teeing it up. So look, we've got these two signings. One's an unknown 19-year-old from Brazil, and Conor Gallagher we do know a lot more about. The stats on Gallagher that we have been shown are 2 years ago, he was number one for possession, one, interceptions, tackles, and duels. So defensively, he's a very, very good player in the midfield 2 years ago. But further up the pitch, he was second in chances created and second in assists. This was in the Chelsea squad, not in the league, by the way. So this is in Chelsea's team, before people think this is the league data. That was an attacking Pochettino team. So if you look a bit deeper, the pass success rate versus progressive passes, what you'll find is he has a lot of successful passes, but not progressive. So what that says to me is he's a sideways backwards passer, but he's good at it. He doesn't lose possession doing it. So he's basically Pape Sarr, but with a better first touch and a better passing accuracy.
Someone who can pass the ball.
That's so disrespectful.
Sideways. That's what this chart shows. But at Chelsea, this will say that he's actually quite good in creating and more forward passes. But again, that was in a Pochettino ball possession, more front-footed team. So I don't know how it works with Frank. There's also a stat here. He's had no games missed from injury throughout his entire career. He's in for the shock of his life. He's in for the shock of his life.
He's injured against West Ham.
I guarantee this is going to go up 100%. And I found this tweet from a Atletico Madrid fan who said, he doesn't have the feet to play in our league. We know La Liga's technical, which is something I did say last to Lubo, Sean, and to Butler. He's not a technician. We play with two physical wingers, so our midfield needs more precision, i.e. technical players that can beat a man, drop a shoulder, keep the play going. So he always looked out of place. Also, we really needed the money because we have two important positions to cover. And without this money, they can't buy those players. And it really helps with their FFA or fair play rules. So to me, guys, it is an opportunistic deal that he's come to the market, but we've grabbed it. All right, we've grabbed this opportunity. We see it as a viable opportunity. And let's be honest, would we have signed him if this never happened? Probably not. So on that basis, guys, what do you make of the Conor Gallagher signing? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on the fence. I don't think it solves the major problems we've got, which is creativity, goals. I don't think that's the biggest problem we've got for me, the final third. I don't think he solves any of that. But some people say, oh, but him and Paulinho in a double pivot frees Xavi Simons. I don't think Xavi Simons alone is the answer, though. So where are we at with Conor Gallagher? I am properly on the fence with this. I think we needed a Manu Kone, Jesus Christ, Kone from Inter, that type of player. Where are you at with it? James, I'll come to you first and we'll go this way around. Where are you at with Conor Gallagher?
Yeah,
and Sancho, sorry. And the Brazilian. And this
yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Roberto Carlos play, to be fair, but I've heard good things. When it comes to Conor Gallagher, I think it's a great signing. I really do. I think, for me, the one criticism, well, not one, but one of the criticisms this season is the amount of goals we can see from the edge of the area. Whereas that guy, I believe, is going to put so much pressure on players and shutting them down that I think will dramatically reduce. I also think that sometimes we need that guy to sort of make that tackle, turn and drive forward. And I think he could do that. Obviously, people are kind of only looking at his Chelsea season there, but are we not seeing what he did at Palace? He was so good. Didn't he keep Eze out of the team at Palace? But he was a good player. And I'm not saying he's better than Eze, but what I am saying is I think that if someone like Pochettino is going to come back, if you've got him as one of the two holding midfield players, I don't see how that's bad at all. I think he's a really good player. And
do you think that solves our issues, though, James?
No, mate. Because I don't think
this. In the league, James, I was saying, in the league, we are the 8th best team defensively, but the 11th in the table for goals scored. So we have a problem putting the ball in the back of the net. That is actually the biggest issue.
Mate, you know what I think of our front line, and it's got worse over the years. Like our front line is the worst in the Premier League.
This is what I'm saying to you. Do those two signings solve that bigger problem?
No, but they are definitely a start because Udogie, mate, I don't even know if that guy's good or bad or what. He just never fit, like never. So to me, you might as well sell the guy. He can't stay fit for more than 3 games in a row. Spence, look, he can do a job, but I wouldn't say he's a left back. So again, we don't know what this player's like, so it's hard to say. I personally think that we did need somebody like him. I think that if you played Polinia, him and Xavi, or him, Polinia, Maddison, I think that you can get away with that. But we need 3 front 3. We need 3 players in the front 3 for me to actually be able to kick on.
JP, the new Brazilian Roberto Carlos and Conor Gallagher.
I've actually seen Roberto Carlos play, and I can say he took a mean free kick. So if this kid can take a free kick similar to that, bingo. God knows, who knows? Let's see how he gets on. I think you're also forgetting, didn't we sign an young Irish kid as a striker as well?
16 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
He's behind Dane Scarlett.
I think he's injured.
Yeah, of course he is.
In terms of Gallagher, I totally understand what you're saying about what we need, and we do need that progressive passer. We do need someone who can create things. But I would take Conor Gallagher as well. So they've still got to fulfill on that requirement, but I would take Conor Gallagher as well. I think, and I know we used to use this word with Richie. I think this kid literally does have the energy to run around the whole pitch, and I think he'll be infectious. He's also got a voice, so I remember
Gallagher's work rate is right up there. Yeah. His work rate is very high.
He'll push people, and he should make people infectious along with him to also go push, also go close down. And I've heard his voice already. He should be quite shouty on the pitch. I remember him at Palace. Like, he used to drag people up. He used to shout at people. Chelsea did make him the captain, irrespective of whether it was Poch or Poch made him the captain or whatever. But there was a lot of big names at Chelsea, and for him to be made the captain, to be able to be shout at people or issue people around the pitch, he must have something about him. So I think it's a good signing. We still need more. We still need that progressive passer. We still need all of those. But it's a great signing for us because, trust me, some of the names that some of the people want, they're up there, right? We're not really going to get those names compared to where we are in the league right now. The type of football we play, the number of XG that we create per game, we ain't getting those type of players, right? Conor Gallagher, I think he'll be a good signing for us. That's my take.
Biggie, Gallagher, and the Brazilian Roberto Carlos wonder kid, generational talent.
I don't know. With the kids, you never know, man.
By the way, I forgot to mention Roberto Carlos's this 19-year-old boy. His injury record is not good.
I don't know anything about him, man. So
the complete opposite to Gallagher.
And only played like 20 Premier league games, like actual professional games. Only 20 games he's played.
Yeah, something like that, and he's been injured a fair bit too. So he's
I don't know much about him, man. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. It's another kid, another punt. It's another
with young kids, with young players. You never quite know, man. We can just wish him the best and hope.
Psycho's Brazilian, and he said Sousa doesn't even play for the under-21 squad. By the way, Psycho doesn't rate him, and this is a Brazilian Spurs fan, so I don't know if that's anything to go by, but that's.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the next few months regarding him and.
Remember, we got a coach, Phil. We got a coach.
But
yeah, he'll be coached. He'll be coached to not cross the halfway line.
In regards to Conor, man, I'll be interested more so from his character and personality, what he brings to that midfield, more so than his technical abilities. It's interesting to read about that Atletico Madrid fan that wrote in that tweet. It makes me wonder what possessed Atletico Madrid to bring him to Spain in the first place if he wasn't good enough technically, or certainly not good enough for that league. Who from Atletico Madrid sanctioned that signing? Simeone must have given the go-ahead to get him in. Why would they then get him in
Did-
to then not to see that he's not the fit? Is beyond me.
You did say though that they've also got 2 attacking pitbull winner, kind of like
Yeah,
wingers,
but
right? So
but
they
they
may
would have
have got
known that
them
when
in
they
after.
signed him.
They may have got them in after him.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
maybe he didn't work out. Maybe he wanted to move.
Yeah, but look, there's a million and
clubs
one reasons.
sometimes they don't hold on to these players if they're not quite what
Yeah.
they're looking for, and they get rid of them.
Look, whatever the case, man, I'm looking at Gallagher more from his what he has to bring from a character point of view, because I do feel like we need a little bit of our midfielders this season more so. I've seen them go a little bit missing from a character. They go into hiding. I hate players that go into hiding when a team's struggling. And from that point of view, I would like to see what he comes in. He's been captain at Chelsea, and I know there was a lot of fans that were very unhappy when he left to make way for Enzo Fernandez to come in. So,
It was PSR though,
from a
wasn't it?
leadership point of view, sorry,
It was more PSR and stuff, which is why
Yeah,
he left, wasn't it? As opposed
whatever
to
the case may be, man, they weren't all happy that he left. I know he did well at Palace. He did well at Chelsea. He seems adaptable because that's still said in his passing. He seems to change his game up depending what the manager wants from them. Pochettino definitely liked him, so I have to go by what I've seen and how manager seems. So Pochettino knows his players as well, so he knows what he wanted from him, and he clearly liked him because he made him captain when there's other South American players as well playing for them, but he chose him to be his captain. So from that point of view, I want to see how he elevates us in midfield, and I think potentially it can form a really good partnership with Palhinha, more so because Bentancur is now out. Bissouma seems to be out of the plans now, and there's only Archie Gray really in that can play in that pivot. So it looks like he's going to get a lot of game time, which means with the World Cup around the corner, there is as well an extra purpose for him to do well at the club. In terms of how we play, man, we'll see in it. We'll see how we get him to play in our team, but it gives me and he's English. And I think it's an important part of it because a lot of these things get overlooked, man. We got an English player in. We don't have enough of British in the core of the team, and I think that's an added value for us to have an English player playing for us at Spurs. So listen, I can only hope that he's going to do well. He's coming into a very difficult context. Where there's a bit of unrest amongst the fans, there's unrest amongst the players, and so it's a difficult environment to come, and a manager that's clearly under pressure. So it's a difficult environment for that player. So I'll be willing to give him the time to get into it, and all I can hope that he does well, man. That's all really. I'll let the pitch decide before I start criticising and praising him. I want to see him on the pitch.
And for an English player, it's reasonably priced, right? It's not extortionate.
Yeah,
amount of
it's
money
not
like you
extortion
normally
pricing.
get
I do
paid
think
for
we
English
lack
that
an
English
English base in our team. I do think I would like to see Tottenham play with more English players in the team. That's not the detriment of foreign players or anything like that. I just think that an English team, a British team, should have the core, or have at least certainly have more than what we currently have in the side. Because if you're thinking a starting lineup, JP, we got if everyone was fit right now, Maddison would be in the team. Yeah, that's it, man. And now you got Gallagher, Gallagher. So, and I agree with what Matt said earlier. I think with Gallagher coming in, it could be the end of Bentancur, which makes me think, did we sign a new contract with Bentancur so we can sell him on?
I'm coming from the perspective that he's
point of view.
injured. He's had one major injury. He had another injury following his major injury. Now he's injured again for another 2-3 months.
I do think we're going to freshen that midfield up as well for next season. Yeah. I know Papa Sarr is in the final. I know his nation Senegal made the final for the AFCON, so he's going to be involved.
He's not even playing for Senegal.
Sorry?
He's not even playing for Senegal.
Didn't Bissouma get sent off the other day against?
I don't know. I think Bissouma's done. And I think
do any of you think that Connor's come because he was captain under Pochettino and they're lining up Pochettino in the summer? Because that's been a big conversation among Spurs fans. I'm just asking.
It's too long. It's too much future planning for Spurs.
I was gonna say
that's a
bloody hell.
conversation we can have an hour's conversation about that alone. Who's to know, man? That for stuff like that, we're gonna have to wait to see after the World Cup. I don't think we're gonna change the manager now. I really don't, unless we do something that Man United done. Unless we get like
Psycho's on fire today, by the way, with his comments.
Yeah. unless we do what Man United have just done, bringing an interim manager. I don't see the point of changing him now. Just see out the season and then.
No, in the summer after the World Cup.
Yeah, my view on Gallagher is when we were linked with him a couple of years ago, I wasn't that convinced that he'll be a good fit for Spurs or that he was ever really going to come to Spurs because of his Chelsea connection. However, at Crystal Palace, he was a very good player and he was impressive to watch. And he was decent for Chelsea.
Played a bit
one of my best
forward,
mates,
though, didn't he, Baz, at Palace? He played a bit further forward.
He did, and he wasn't. It was. I think he played that number 8 role really at Chelsea as well. My best mate is a Chelsea supporter, and he rates him. He says he's a good player, but he didn't say he's an amazing player. He's a very good player that is going to transform our fortunes or anything like that. And so I think he's an upgrade on what we currently got in reference to, let's say, Gray and Bergvall. I think he is a different type of player than Bentancur. And he's probably a better player than Bentancur based on the current Bentancur we've got with all his injuries and the current form. And that is a player that we need because we just don't have that strength in depth. And we always complain, don't we, that we never have that strength in depth. So even if he doesn't...
Apparently, Maz, he can play in the 10, 6 and the 8.
Yeah, and I don't know if about playing in the 10, but certainly for me, an 8 or a 6 he could easily do.
That's what
having
he did
seen
at
him in,
Palace,
yeah.
10.
Right, okay. But then they're a different type of team. They weren't a really massive possession-based team, though, were they, as well? And it's... Look, we always complain when we don't have the strength in depth. And now we're bringing in a player that does give us a bit more strength in that central midfield area. We should be happy about that. However, what I will say is I do not think, I'm with everyone on this, I don't think he changes the fortunes of Tottenham Hotspur, just him. He's a good addition. He will definitely help us. But I don't think he's not going to light up, he's not going to be a Modric or anything crazy like that, right? But let's judge him on his merits, right? Let's give him a chance. I don't care whether he's played for Chelsea or not. I just want good players at Spurs. And I do think he's a good player. I don't think he's an amazing player. I just think he's a very good player. He's as good as, let's say, someone like Paulinho. He's as good as that. Because Paulinho isn't a world beater, but he's a good, solid player, and we need good, solid players.
All right.
Yeah, I actually think that he's the kind of player that makes everybody else better. I think that he's going to do all the dogged work for Paulinho, and Paulinho's going to be able to just literally sit in front of the back four. And I think that Paulinho will become a better player. He'll become a better player. I think Xavi will become a better player. So I feel like it's not always about his ability. I think that he does cover so much ground and does so much for the team that it'll free up a couple of jobs that other teams are trying to do, if that makes sense.
Well, hopefully it frees up Xavi, to be honest. Because
Xavi's free now.
He looks laid down though.
Because of the way we set up, we don't play attacking football. Listen, I personally think our fan base is deluded and they're being fed crumbs and it tastes like steak, and then come May, they're going to realise they're eating crumbs again, and
He's shit.
Gallagher's all right, man. Listen, he's all right. He's all right. That's it. We bought an all right player. Is he a game changer? No. Is he better than
How can you say he's not a game changer?
Is he better than Archie Gray? Yes. Is he better than an injured Bentancur? Yes. Is he better than Basuma? Technically, not a chance in hell, but Basuma's not going to be playing for us again. So when there's nothing in the middle, He's better than nothing, so it improves us because it's something when there's nothing. But is that Wanyama? Is that Dembele? Is that Eriksen level? Not a fucking chance. It's not.
I think we have to wait and see.
Yeah, I
JP.
think that's really harsh.
No,
Really
it's
harsh.
not. Listen, I heard the same propaganda from many fans when we signed Mawani. I watched a
Not
couple of
me.
games. He's in front of goals, not what you said he is. And now no one wants to talk about Mawani. Now it's
You see, I still think Mawani is a good player. I just think he's massively failed at Spurs.
Joke to a drink. What are you talking about? Someone kicked this guy off the show. What are you talking about?
Well, he's not good for Spurs, if that's what you mean. But when you've seen him in other leagues, I think he was good. When you see him in other leagues, but he's failed at Spurs.
So what we're saying is Vincent Janssen was a good player. All of those guys were good players because they played good in different leagues.
Do you know?
Bring Troy Parrott back.
Hold on. He's played in France and he's played in Italy. So it's a bit higher. He's played in France and he's played in Italy, right? For big clubs.
What about Roberto then? Bring him back.
Yeah, but it's not, you're just being silly now, flip flopping.
No,
right? You're just being silly now, right? How can you compare Vincent Janssen? He came from the Dutch league, I think it was, right? To a player that's played for PSG and then went to Juve.
How much did he play for PSG? He did okay at Juve. He had one good season at Frankfurt, but if you look at his goal scoring ability,
better than Janssen though is your example, isn't it?
Yeah, or Soldado. Then we'll change it to Soldado.
Here we go.
You see, Soldado was a good player. He just didn't do it at Spurs.
He was your class, your quality.
No, but hold on. Before he came, he done very well in Spain. No, that's nonsense.
That's class. Yeah.
Before Soldado came to Spurs. Before Soldado came to Spurs, he done very well in Spain.
Guys,
right?
You just said he was a good player.
Do you know what I would do with Mawani? And I said it about a month ago.
Send it back.
And people said to me, "Oh, shut up! You can't do that." I said, "Yes, you can. That's the whole point of being a manager." I would play Mawani in the 10, and the reason is, and it's the same reason I think Kudus should play in the 10. When you've got a dribbler, when they're going down the middle, a dribbler can go right or left. When they're out wide, they're limited. I think Mawani's actually a very good dribbler. If you watch him on the ball, technically, he's got skills. This boy can beat 1-2 players. The problem is in front of goal, he's gash. So I would play him in the 10. Mate, you watch him beat players.
When
he beat a player and fed Odebert from the 10 position for the goal, right? For me, I'm not saying Mawani's amazing. If you want to see the best of Mawani, play him in the 10. I'm telling you.
If you want to see the best of Mawani,
play him in the 10 as well. I'm telling you.
You want to see the best of Mawani, you send him back to the Farmers League. The guy's crap. He's crap. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. Even people said he hasn't. People say about his skills. No, he don't. No, he don't.
Mawani's got skills, right? Mawani's got
No, he
skills.
ain't. No, he ain't.
What are you talking about? Technically,
what are you talking about?
You see him beat players.
No, you don't. Even when he tries, he fumbles it.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm sorry.
The
the amount of time he tries to and fumbles it and loses it, or goes to touch the ball and mistouches the ball and it goes out for a throw. Mate, he's awful. Everyone likes to go back to the PSG game. And people say, well, he beats his man. He does 2 stepovers, the ball bounces off his foot, bounces off the defender's foot, bounces off his foot, and then gets through, and then done the shot take a deflection.
James,
it's not good skill.
He's perfect, right? But I'm sorry, you don't have a good season for Juventus in Italy and have a half-decent season at PSG and you're shit. Exactly. I don't think he's shit, right? He's not shit, but he's not a goal scorer. And the problem is...
He's not Premier League level. He's not Premier League level.
1 minute. I think he is. When we signed him as a goal scorer. He's not that. I don't think if you played him as an inverted attacker, maybe, but not the way we set up. The way we set up doesn't work. But in the 10 role, this team, the way Frank, see, I'm talking about a player in a Frank system, not how I would play Mawani. I'm talking about in a Frank system. In a Frank system, if you're a dribbler, put them in the 10. That's the role for a dribbler in a Frank system. If this wasn't a Frank system, I'll play Mawani out wide. But we don't play that. We don't play anything but this Frank bullshit. I don't think he's a top player though. I don't think he's a goal scoring machine. That I agree with you. No chance. He's not.
I don't think he's a player.
You know what's
I don't
funny,
think he's
guys?
a
That
player.
there's so many players right now, like going in the last 6 months of their contract. There's players like Dusan Vlahovic. There's players like Bayern Munich midfielder Leon Goretzka. Really good players that in the last 6 months, and they could all be got on a free. And that, I'm just mentioning two players that we know and are playing for very good teams, and they would absolutely class our team up. Why are we not acting on these players, man? Give them the money that they want, pay the wages that they want,
Definitely.
but you bag yourself a
100%.
couple of. I mean, Leon Goretzka is 30 years old. Vlahovic is in his prime of his career. They would do really well in a team like Spurs, and I just don't understand why
That'd
we're
be
wasting our
scouting.
time on trying. And you know what? They don't cost right now. They don't cost anything.
People that say, like that comment that said they don't play for PSG and Juventus if you're a current player, mate, there has been loads of players that have played for big teams that have been awful, and they've gone to made another big move. And there's been loads of teams that have kind of done that.
But James Shevchenko went to Chelsea, and he wasn't good at Chelsea, but he was an amazing player. Right, so look, I'm not saying Moani's the greatest player ever. All I'm saying is that I agree with you. In the Premier League and what we've seen at Spurs, he's always been awful. Right, I'm with you. But when I've seen him for PSG and Juve, I didn't look at him and think, "Oh wow, he's a really bad player." I thought, "Yeah, he's a good player. He's good." I was pleased when he was coming to Spurs. I didn't think he was going to be the answer, but I was pleased that he was coming to Spurs. But he's proven that he's not ready for us.
There's only two players that have had a decent season at Spurs so far. Everyone's been shit. So when you're coming in, I'm going to defend the player now. And I'll say, how is any player coming in to a new team that's having the issues that we all know that we're having? We've all said in the whole squad, only two players have been above, we'll say, decent. Two players have been decent, yeah. And how the fuck can you do well, man? You're gonna have.
Don't call out James in his flip flop. He'll just defend Frank now, like he's been doing all year on these other YouTube channels.
Imagine going to a new club in a new team, and and with everything that's happening. And how you're going to do well when your whole fucking squad's doing shit, apart from Van der Ven.
Just attack them, bring them on to attack them. I'm only joking.
I don't know, man. James, I would have liked to have seen and judge Moani properly with us firing at all cylinders, or at least doing better than we're currently doing, man. I just think it's harsh, man, to evaluate a player that's coming to a new team
within reason.
We're doing so shit, man.
Yeah, but within reason, I've seen enough from Kudos to say that there's a player in there. He's playing in a bad team, bad system.
I've seen enough from he nosedive.
I've seen some stuff to see he's a talent. Yeah, Polina's probably in the wrong place. I've seen enough for him to say, yeah, there's a player in there.
Mate, this geezer can't even make the first team.
I've seen enough from him to go, there's a player there. Van der Ven, like there's enough there to say that, yeah, you've seen a player there. So for me, I'm not expecting him to. I agree, but I'm not expecting him to come in and perform and be 30 goals a season. But what I am expecting is to see something. I think a lot of people underlook the amount of clear-cut chances this guy has missed.
I agree.
I mean, 3 yards. No, but I don't care if you're a goal scorer or not. He's 3 yards out and he's hitting it wide. Van der Ven scored more than him, and he's had harder chances to finish. Whether you're a goal scorer or not, you're a Premier League footballer. You are a Premier League footballer.
Mate, but I agree. In front of goal, he's shit. This is my criticism of Moani as a striker, as the number 9. He's a catastrophe. I've argued with you on this in favour of what you're saying. I argue it, mate. Sean and everyone else ripped me on this when I said he's crap in front of goal. Now they won't dare bring up his name. But as a footballer that's got some skills, he's got skills. He can beat a man. He can dribble. He can.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting to see that then, to be honest.
I just
Let's
think,
move on.
do you know what? He's dipped in and out of the team. He hasn't really had a lot of consistent amount of games to really get going. I always feel like, whenever it takes even half a step forward, is that there's 3 back. I just haven't seen a run of games. Maybe now
You
that we're
say that
trying.
though. You say that, Iggy. I think he's been involved in 20 games. I expect to see something.
Yeah, listen. Of course,
Listen, we don't play enough attacking football for these footballers to get any momentum or any continuity and consistency in their play on a
The thing
weekly
is, James,
basis.
none of our attacking players.
Our attackers have been
None of them.
rinsed by this manager.
When I say attacking players, I
That
include
doesn't mean they're
Xavi
good, by the
Simons,
way. That doesn't mean they're good. They have
Xavi
been
Simons,
rinsed.
and all the attacking players. You can name them all.
They've
Tell
been
me
rinsed,
honestly,
man.
who's doing well, man? The thing is,
No, I'm not saying that though. I'm not saying that.
We sat back for half an hour.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. That's a completely different conversation. I'm saying I would expect to see something. I've seen something from Xavi. I've seen something from Kudos. They're 2 attackers in this awful team. I've seen nothing from him.
You saw an assist on the weekend.
Is that how low we're going? That's it.
It's hello, everyone with Patel. With his deflected goals.
1 minute, he gets an assist against Aston Villa. What do you want him to do?
I'd like him to affect the game in a bit more, to be honest.
He nearly created a goal.
Yeah, but I'm talking about actually having an influence on the game. As in, like you're saying, he's beating men and he's created all this stuff. Well, show us then. One assist or whatever it is, that's fine. But for me, that's not good enough.
Let me explain to you this. The amount of times I see a player on the ball trying to attack, and there's
the comments like this are just stupid though. So what? Mawani's better than Vlahovic? Yeah, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, but I disagree with this. I don't.
That's madness.
Yeah, I don't agree with that comment. But the amount of times, whether it's Spence driving against Liverpool, or Kudus going down the flank, or Xavi Simons driving down the middle against Man United, the amount of times I see attackers driving the ball, and I look around to see what options have you got. There's hardly any options because our players, they're behind the play. And I see it so many times. It's by design. So you're killing the player on the ball. So that player now isn't going to get an assist and they are going to lose possession. This is what happens so often. And this is why this is why I've criticised Frank so much. His tactics are negative. He's a negative manager.
He is.
This season he has been. Maybe he'll change, but I've not seen it. Only against Liverpool. Liverpool's the only time I thought, fucking no, we really are going for it. We really, really are going for the game. It's the first time I've seen Spurs from minute 1 to minute 90 just go for it. It's the only game.
Listen, I honestly believe that the only time we're going to start seeing something half decent is when we're out of the Champions League as well, and then the pressure is all off.
Game a
and
week
all of a sudden,
as well.
The team will express itself in the last sort of couple of months of the league. That's what I see, man. I'm sorry if it brings it down, but that's what I foresee. Excuse me.
Right, next topic. Let's crack on, and then we'll wrap up.
All right. Well,
we're still going 2.5 hours.
No.
It's the last. Well, listen, a lot happened. So we discussed
It's never a dull moment at Spurs.
Anniversary kit, the Aston Villa game, the stats about Frank. We've discussed Frank calling out the players. Sorry, no, the journalists and us lot. Romero calling out the board, Bentancur's injury, the protest this Saturday, the signings of Conor Gallagher and Sousa. And just when you thought, what more can happen? Bosh. We can confirm that our sporting director, Fabio Paratici, will be leaving the club in February to join Fiorentina and the Athletic. Well, Last Word posted it. They said that the Athletic...
Not the right man. That's why he's fucked off. It's like, I didn't want this guy. No one asked me. I told him I didn't want him.
Apparently, according to the Athletic, Paratici didn't want Frank. Guys...
Didn't he want Nuno?
I thought it was about his girlfriend. Didn't he get
where are you at?
You wanted contact,
where are you at
James?
with...
I
didn't mention the girlfriend thing because I just think it's just such an easy bullshit story to create. Look, the fact is he's leaving. He's clearly not happy with whatever's going on at Spurs. Whether he's in the right or wrong, I don't know. But we're losing Paratici and we're keeping Lange. But he's staying till the end of February so he can be involved in the transfers for now. But he's also signing players for Fiorentina because he's just signed Solomon to Fiorentina. So Clearly.
Actually, that's a really good that he's going then. He can take a few more shit players with him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the shit that he signed for us, he can take again. But I think he's up there with one of the worst director of football I've ever seen at Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I don't think he's been great for us.
Fucking hell, man.
The
He's
amount
better
of
than fucking
signings
man.
that guy has got away with has been horrific, man. Honestly, if Lange is getting slaughtered for Gray and Bergvall, and rightly so, this guy's brought in Galini, Royale, Brian Hill, mate. The list goes on and
James
on. And
Maddison,
he built this squad.
Ricky van der Ven,
Oh, so he's taking credit for them, not Lange. Yeah?
Vicario,
Well, Vicario, everyone wants out.
Romero. Who's on
Romero. Romero, Porro for me are probably the only two that you could kind of go, okay. Madison was Lange.
No, it wasn't. Lange wasn't here when Madison signed.
I thought Lange was Madison, wasn't he?
No. It's Paratici. So was Kulu.
So
I thought that was after he was giving his ban or he was seeing behind scenes.
He did bring in Richarlison as well.
Another one.
Richarlison, Royale.
I could keep going.
Top scorer this season.
Carlos Feliz. What about him?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not. What concerns me about Paratici? What concerns me is that he was really the only proper football guy in Spurs. Now we've just got accountants and marketing people and bankers, right? So that worries me. That really worries me, to be honest.
The actors change, but the film is always the same.
That's it.
Call it. Do whatever you want. You could change the actors, man, but the film is always the same, and that will never change.
Signed Van der Ven?
That was under Paratici.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't because didn't Ange come in as he got let go, and then Lange come in with Ange?
It was the transitional period, so
he left his black book open, James.
Yeah,
on the table.
I thought Lange had Van der Ven because people were going, no, he was still in the background. He was still in the background trying to take credit for it.
No.
So,
Gabbiadini was in the kind of transitional phase.
Oh, that's what people say. Gabbiadini was talking to Paratici, so they tried to give the credit to Paratici and not Lange. So it's like,
no, it's Gabbiadini. No, hold on, Gabbiadini should get the credit for that. Not Lange.
Yeah, fair. So for me,
Gabbiadini came in because of Paratici.
Lange signed Werner twice.
Yeah, but before we signed Nuno, he tried to get Conte and didn't.
Lange signed Werner twice, Matthijs Tel twice. He re-signed Ben Davies in the summer.
I think the thing for me,
mate, it don't matter. Whatever way you look at it,
worrying.
He didn't do anything. Again, we don't create the circumstances for anybody to come and do his job and do it well, or do it well enough to succeed. Everybody that comes in at Spurs and leaves, they leave. They leave the same shit as they found.
It's true.
And it can't always be the interpreters.
History of Enoch.
It can't always be the interpreter. Sometimes it's the director of the film that's shit. That's not good enough. You can't always say it's the actors. You can't say.
Does that mean we can't blame Frank then?
You blame everyone, man. Blame everyone's to blame at this club. But
no one's not to blame, James.
I think James, at the end of the day, that one thing that's been consistent at this club is the 25 years of its ownership. They are the only ones that have been here consistently, and they have continued. They have allowed this circus that's been going on at Tottenham for so long.
I agree. But this guy's got the name the Don, and it's so gutting that he's leaving. And he's this
media thing. No, who called him a Don? Man? My name's not Fabio. First of all, before you refer to me as Don. You don't come on, man. He didn't refer. He didn't say. By the way,
when Paratici first came, right? We done a whole show where we ran through all of his signings, who we thought was good, bad, and ugly, basically.
About 50-50, wasn't it?
It was a
right, and even then we were being very generous to him. So he hasn't been. By far, he's not the worst director of football we've ever had, but he's certainly not the best director of football we've ever had.
He leaves the same ways he came in.
Yeah,
mixed bag. He came as a mixed bag, And was he left? He left as a mixed bag. He doesn't.
But he came when the squad was in a better position than when he is now. He's leaving.
Did he?
Yeah, but that's his doing.
Are you sure about
Do
that?
you really believe that's his doing?
He has to take some credit for some kind of responsibility.
He came when he had when we had Sanchez, fucking yeah. Forget about those. Oh God, you do the same thing.
Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, but he also had the worst defense ever that he had to swap out.
He's improved.
And he had Winks and Skip and all them lot there.
I would take both of them right now, to be honest.
No, you wouldn't.
Over Archie Gray and Bergwell, I'd take Skip and Winks.
Stell would take Skip for sure. I remember when Stell was like, I see something in him.
I like Skip.
Hold on. Remember what I said? What we did to Skip is exactly what we did to Winks. We played them completely out of the position that they were good at a youth level, and we fucked them both.
Yeah.
I think we definitely messed up Winks. He had a lot of potential, that boy.
And Skip. When Skip was at Norwich, he was a rock. He was so solid because all he had to do was defend. Then we tried to bring him in, turn him into a playmaker.
Looked at Winks, looked at Skip and said, right, holding mid.
That's true. It's true. Actually, can you blame like if Jose's telling you he's holding mid and says Conte, then what we blame? You're obviously wrong still.
Yeah, but it's not as if they've left and they've kicked on elsewhere.
They were never holding mids. Oliver Skip was an 8 in the academy. Winks was a 10. They both ended up being 6s. It was never going to work.
But the bottom line is...
Dane Scarlett's a striker. He plays in the 9. He comes on against Villa, right? Go on the wing.
Be kudos.
Do you know what the funny thing is? That we brought him back to Spurs.
What do you think's going to happen?
He was out there on loan, and we brought him back to go and sit on the bench.
I can't believe Dane Scarlett was out.
The guy needs game time.
Tell Moani. No, Scarlett.
Scarlett needs game time. We send him out there to get game time. We brought him back to do nothing. And that's the reality of it. And then, again, we got another now. We got a sporting director. We got another one now. What do you think he's going to be doing different into the previous one? Nothing.
I'll take Dane Scarlett over Kula Moani and Richarlison, by the way.
Do you know what? Richie, I don't know
Frank
how
hasn't got the balls.
I don't know how Richie gets away with it. He's such a crap football player.
But you know what? This is the one thing that I don't understand. If Frank came in to be this coach, why he didn't look at a lot of our young players and say, right, Donnelly, stay at the club. I'm going to coach you. Right, Lancashire, stay at the club. I'm going to coach you.
Because you can't coach crap. You can't. He's not a miracle worker.
Yeah, but Donnelly, we don't know Donnelly's crap. We don't really know that.
I watched him 3 or 4 times last season in league below, and the guy is stuck in mud. He is so, don't get me wrong, on the ball technically, he's quite good, but he's so stuck in the mud. Every time he turns, it takes him 20 minutes before he can turn and find space. But technically on the ball, he was very good.
But we said the same. We said the same things about the youngsters that Poch brought through, and they've done a job for us for a season or so.
James,
when they came in,
you say Donnelly is technically good, but he looks like he's stuck in the mud, right?
Yeah, it's probably because he's playing on muddy pitches.
That's
League One and
the
stuff.
Coach to develop that aspect of his game. That's what coaching is. But we don't do it.
Yeah, I agree, but
that's an argument.
No.
Otherwise, he's going to spend 90 minutes now arguing the complete opposite to what he actually thinks.
No, I agree with him reason, but he was never anything more than League One for me. So technically, yeah, he's good, but we're talking Premier League or League One. What are we talking here?
The thing is, we'll never know because they never get the minutes.
They never get given a chance.
They never get. We will never know, and that's. I've always said this: the jump from academy to first team is the biggest bridge to cross, and you never know if a player's going to cross that bridge unless you give them proper minutes. They need 10 games, but they need it. But no manager at Spurs has ever had the bollocks to do it.
You see, I thought Lancashire had potential, to be honest.
Ange tried a little bit, but he only did it in the Europa and the Carabao Cup.
See, I thought Lancashire had potential, to be honest, as a young lad. You could see, look, here's the saying, you could see something in him, Lancashire. Like, again, he needs a game time, he needs development, right?
The same as Mikey Moore, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually
You know-
thought Donnelly was right.
But look, and before anyone gets excited, we're not saying these players are the answer. All I'm saying, we had this conversation just before Ange came. Now is the time. If you're going to build a project, a long-term project at the club, then is the time to start looking at the younger players and saying, right, I'm going to work with you for 2-3 years and see if we can make something out of you. But we never do it. Never do it.
Yeah, but
Wolves
that's
F1.
because if they have 2 bad games, everyone slags them off.
Sorry, Wolves F1, I'm not banning you from the channel because you're testing me. I'm banning you because of the nasty comments you said about us on other channels, mate. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to say. That's why you've been banned. I've seen what you said elsewhere. It's not on. Can I say, though, with our academy players, none of them, not a single one, has got hope in hell when we spend 150 million on Odeberts, Tells, Greys, Bergvilles, a bunch of kids, and it fails, right? The team fails with these kids in it that we spent a lot of money on. Surely, rather than spending the money on these kids that don't work for the first team because the first team's losing every week, let the academy kids have those minutes and fail with them instead, because you never know, they might actually do something. And that 150 million, put it towards signing 3 really experienced football players that actually improve us.
Agreed.
But this has been my biggest argument with any fans, any fan who says the academy's not good enough, our youth is shit. When any fan says that, and quite a lot of them say that, I always say fine, but can we not spend 150 million on kids that come here that turn out to be shit or average, and just do that for free?
Yeah,
so we've got those
exactly.
there for free, and spend that money on another Kudus, another Paulinia, another.
No,
Van
yeah,
de Ven.
I think ideally that's where you want to be. I think that ideally that's where you want to be. But at the same time, like people say, like Will Langsheet, you do realise the geezer's struggling to score goals for fucking like Oxford, right? Like let's be honest here, and then what we're expecting to come in and start scoring goals for Tottenham Hotspur. Don't be complaining where we are in the Premier League.
No, James, we're
complaining
not.
about Archie Gray and Berger.
No, James, you're taking what we're saying completely out of context, right? We're not saying put them in now and they're going to change the fortunes of the club. We're saying if you're going to start a long-term project, then start looking at some of our youth players and blooding them in and coaching them.
Why?
Don't just
Why waste the
dismiss
time?
them.
The shit.
But we don't know. We don't know that, James.
I'm telling you, Donnelly, Langsheet, all of those guys are not making it. I'm telling you that.
Right, Flower, how was about this? The moment that they were 18, how was Donnelly?
I don't know.
Let me check. Hold on. Because this is important. What's his first name? What's Donnelly's first name?
Jamie, isn't it? Is it Jamie Donnelly?
Jamie Donnelly. Mate, I typed in James Donnelly and this 87-year-old actress popped up.
I'd take her over him.
Right, James Donnelly. He's now, what is he?
18, 17.
Profile. He was born in 20. No, fucking hell. Does anyone know how old he is? Because oh, here he is. No, that's not. He was born in 88. So 98.
It's got to be 20, isn't he?
This is the wrong Donnelly.
Can't be 98. Okay.
He's 21, someone said. Okay, look, he's 21, right. So, he's 21. When he was 18 years old, okay, so once he progresses from scholar to adult, what we should do is say, right, you're 18, you now train with the first team, you now play with us, and when we've got a week game against Doncaster or against Copenhagen, you're going to play, and you integrate the minutes there. And then over time, you say, right, we're going to give you more minutes and see where we go. But it's okay because we've signed these really other good players on the pitch that can help us in difficult games when you're maybe not at it because you're learning your trade. When you do it at 21, it's very difficult to start doing that unless they've had a really successful loan period. So if a player goes on loan, so Spurs are no longer in control of the coaching, you're now outsourcing the coaching to a Championship or Division 1 side whose coaching levels won't be at the levels of Tottenham. If the loan spell isn't good, that academy kid is ready to be sold because he's not going to make it at Spurs. We never allow the 18-year-olds to embed in the squad so they can still continue their coaching journey with us. And this
But
is where
maybe
the
they're not good
disconnect
enough
happens.
to. But maybe they're not good
James,
enough to.
Well, every single kid that comes out of our academy, every single
Yeah.
one,
Maybe, yeah.
mate. These are the same academy teams that win cups,
You
leagues.
can't say that, James. You just can't. It's such an easy thing just to say. You're sounding like Scott M now. Oh, everything's crap. Oh, no point talking because everything's crap. You can't just write off all of our academy players in its entirety. Just like, yeah, everyone's rubbish. We never
I
see
can do whatever I want, Maz. Look, you may want to flip flop and stay with the crowd. I'll say what I want. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, the guys that have come through, I haven't seen anything from. Mikey Moore, you can make a case for. Bergvall, you can make a case for. The likes of Donnelly.
Just a couple. Just a couple. I'm not saying 7 players at once, just a couple. Because the money we waste on young talent for the first team, it's been a disaster. It's been an absolute disaster. It hasn't worked. Anyone
For
can
me
say what they
personally,
want. Oh, Gray's going to come good. Bergvall's going to come good. Odegaard's going to come good. Tell's going to come good. This guy's going to... Mate, it isn't working. We're just getting whooped. We're getting whooped every single game of football we play for the last 2 years since we started this transfer policy of ours, of Operation Youth. It doesn't work.
yeah, look, I understand.
And now we've signed a 19-year-old from Brazil who's got an injury record like a doggy's. And we're like, yeah, that's a solution.
He's not just any 19-year-old. We can refer to him as Roberto Carlos.
All right, Roberto. Just signed Roberto.
That's the sell shirt.
But for me, though, mate, I'm look, maybe I'm a bit harsher than you, but I think that when Donnelly had a good spell on loan, you should have sold him. When Lancashire hasn't even had a good spell, is he? He's fucking playing for Oxford and can't score a goal. So for me, again, I think what you tend to find is, you may lose a couple of stars like we did with the guy that went to Arsenal, Madueke. But I think for me, the moment these players start looking like there's something there, you get rid and you make your money back to keep the process going. I said at the beginning of the season that I would have sold Donnelly for 10 million. Everyone was going, no, but there's so much potential. Now he's probably worth 2 million. So for me, I'm not a fan.
We never gave him a chance at that point. That's the point.
But he can't do it 3 leagues below, Maz. Why would we give him a chance?
Because maybe when he moved to those other clubs or the wrong clubs and he didn't develop, he stopped developing.
But he was scoring goals and getting assists, sort of thing. And the moment he went up to Stoke, who are a mid-table championship team, he didn't get a game. So even they think he's crap. So why should he come and get
not every move is not every
problem. There's the problem. He's not getting minutes. You can't develop as a youngster if you're not getting minutes.
He's crap still. We can't have sympathy. Go, well, he's coming for our academy. Let's give him minutes.
So
and he's losing the game every week.
Why did that club take him then?
Because they thought it's a loan. There's no risk for them, is it? It's like we'll take him on a loan.
Why pay a player's wages if you think they're
must have seen some potential.
They're paying wages. Why pay wages?
But it's still a risk, though, isn't it? Because you come from the league below, so it's still a risk.
But what's what I'm saying to you? Clubs do this all the time. These players are not shit. The reality is this: it takes balls and it takes patience to embed a youngster into an adult team. You've got to take the hits. You've got to take some losses on the way. But most managers, their job's on the line, so they don't take that risk. Because football now has become such a moneymaker, the financials are so important that a loss could be the difference between 50 million and 0. So they don't take that risk anymore, James.
So who was the last manager that did that for Spurs?
I thought Ange gave it a semi-ish go, but nowhere near enough. But compared to the rest, to be fair, Mourinho gave it a go.
Ange did it because everyone was injured. So I don't know if he genuinely gave that a go.
Probably doesn't count, really, does it?
Yeah.
Well, he was doing it in the Carabao and in the Europa, regardless. Though he wasn't playing the kids in that. Not in the. But
to be fair to him, he did play Lancashire and stuff last year, though, didn't he?
Lancashire was up front against Galatasaray.
Yeah.
Ajayi, or whatever his name is.
Scarlett, Mikey Moore got some minutes.
Yeah, they all scored, didn't they, in that one game?
I just think we are never going to bring through another Harry Kane or another Ledley King unless we start giving some of them a crack in
agree.
that team.
Well,
My biggest worry is we're going to end up selling Mikey Moore, who, for me, technically is better than Odebert and Tell. I don't give a shit. I've seen more technically from Moore than those two. And I'm telling you now, that Williams Barnett is a player. He's better than Moore. He's better than Mikey Moore. Is he going to get minutes under Frank? I don't know.
No, yeah. Look, for me, I agree with you there. When they're actually starting to perform, like for me, I'm not saying Mikey Moore should come back in and be in the first team, but he's doing what he should be doing in the Scottish League. So then you get a move elsewhere, and then you do what you do there. Then you get given a chance. You don't just sort of give them chances because look, we're 14th in the league. We can't afford to lose more than we lose, draw more than we draw. Like we can't afford to be any further down than we are. If we do bed in these players and they make mistakes and we concede more or we lose games that we could draw, there's even less points.
All right. Well, we were talking about Paratici and we ended up having an argument about the academy.
Let's do that 3 hours and let's wrap up.
Hold on. That's what I was going to say, to be fair. The one thing I will say is, because obviously, you know, I like to sort of go around in a circle a little bit here, and this is for Mad. But I think that Paratici has done really well with the youth setup. First team, fucked it. Youth setup, done well.
You are next level, you are.
Now you know why we don't invite you on.
Do you know what? Next time you come on, you're going under the name of James Lubo. James Lubo.
Big up, Lubo.
Oh, man. Guys, listen, before we go, quick prediction. We've got West Ham on the weekend. I mean, they're a complete shambolic football club. If they don't go down, I'll be astonished. Nuno's in big trouble there. They don't know what they're doing as a football club. They lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers for crying out loud. That's the only win of the whole season. They're coming to Spurs. Yeah, we've got some injuries, but listen, for me, I think we win. And I think we win by a couple of goals minimum. If we don't win, I'm saying this now, if we don't win, forget draw, forget loss. If we don't win, I am full-blown Frank out.
Yeah.
Unacceptable to not beat this team. We smashed them 3-0 at their ground. If we can't beat West Ham at ours, he's got to go. He's the worst manager I've ever seen if he can't beat this West Ham team. So I think we're going to win 3-0, 2-0, something like that, Maz. Spurs, West Ham.
I agree with you. It's a must-win game. I will accept nothing but a win. If he draws, I'm Frank out. If he loses, I'm Frank out. I expect us to beat them a couple of goals. And I also, in a weird way, I also expect a clean sheet as well. So 2-0 to Spurs.
2-0 Spurs. JP?
I'm going to go one better than Maz. If he draws, I'm Frank out. If he loses, I'm Frank out. If he wins, I'm Frank out.
Oh, there we go.
If he turns up, I'm Frank out.
The only reason I'm going at the weekend
I'm sort of Frank out anyway. I don't see a future with him anyway. So
the only reason I'm going is to make sure that he gets his comeuppance on Saturday. But no, we even like we shouldn't even be talking about draws against them, kind of like the state they're in at the minute. But Wolves came to our place, hadn't got what they ended up nicking a point out of us. So it's a win. It should be an easy win. However, I do think they'll probably score because everyone's kind of seems to score against us. I think we had 2 clean sheets on the bounce against mediocre teams. It's possible, but 3-1, I'd say.
3-1. James, what do you reckon? Surely we beat this lot, man. Come on.
No, I don't think so. I think it's a draw, score draw. To be honest,
will you be Frank out if it's a score draw?
Again, I'm gonna
flip flop around. Yeah, flip flop. Yeah.
I am Frank in because he's making the fans turn on the board more than ever. So I think if he stays, I'm genuinely being serious. For me, there's no point sacking him now anyway because an interim to the end of the season makes no difference. Season's done. So for me, I would rather him come in and blow this club to pieces and turn everybody against ENIC. If that's the case, just keep him here to the end of the season.
See, James,
Right.
you say the season's done. We're what,
Well, it's not,
five,
but
6
yeah.
points away from qualifying for Europe again. You
Who
just need
cares?
someone there to give us a
No,
bit of
I agree with what
consistency
you're
in the
saying.
run.
I think that even if, say, for example, we sign Xavi and he starts off well and then ends bad the end of the season, or next season he starts having a hiccup, everyone's just going to be calling for Poch anyway. So I think we're going to be in this situation in a year's time, 6 months' time, regardless. That's why, for me, I get the vibe that they want Poch. So just let this guy blow the club up and everyone hate ENIC and then get Poch in the summer if that's what you're going to do.
I'm just going to show everyone West Ham's most recent away game. So away at Wolves, they lost 3-0. Away at City, 3-0. Away at Brighton, 1-1. Away at Man United, 1-1. Away at Bournemouth, 2-2. Away at Leeds, 2-1. Away at Arsenal, they lost 2-0. Away, 1-1. Do you know what? They get a lot of draws on the road, you know?
I mean, James has called it.
Told you, boys, I know my football.
James has called it.
Mate, James, I swear to God, right? If when you look at that, they probably are going to get a draw, you know.
Like I said, for me, the season's
so
done.
at home, then, hold on, at home, is that their problem?
And we don't win or draw at home, we lose. So I'm changing it to a West Ham
They
win.
lost to Liverpool at home. They lost to Villa at home. They lost to Fulham at home. So, mate, it's their home record that's bad. They lost to Forest. So basically, West Ham at home just lose, and on the road they get draws.
It's like that Spider-Man meme, isn't it? Tottenham and West Ham looking at each other in the mirror. At home they don't get any results.
I saw some West Ham tweet the other day. They were saying, look, Spurs are organising like a bit of a staging. Like maybe we should join them because our board's just as crap or whatever. And so, can you imagine what's going to happen in the ground? It's like everyone just booing constantly for like frigging 90 minutes.
Do you think if we draw to West Ham that it's going to get toxic?
Yeah.
100%.
And that's why I said if we don't win and then we go to Burnley and don't win, the whole fan base will be on it. The whole fan base.
Yeah, how can they not implode or explode when at West Ham if we
Look, my opinion is that their next two games, if we don't win both of them, we are losing our next 6 after that.
James, you know when you say you don't care about changing managers, this is where I disagree with everyone. If he carries on losing, we have to change manager. Otherwise, we're going down, mate.
Well, we're not. We're only like 12 points clear.
We won't go down. I think.
But no, we're 9 points.
9 points.
You lose the next couple of games and they pick up some points. You're having a fight.
West Ham and stuff.
Yeah,
West Ham and Forest picking up points.
Well, if West Ham beat us and we lose, they're 6 points behind. If we lose against Burnley, they're 3 points behind.
This is a really good point from Art THFC. Constant boos both sides.
Yeah, boo! It's a fucking hell. I don't know where to look.
Be like your shit. No, your shit. No, your shit. Your shit. No, your shit.
We're shitter than you. We're shitter than you.
We're shitter than you.
Oh, dear. Cool,
guys. On that note, we're off. Iggy had to go a bit earlier here to sore throat. James, thanks for coming on. Don't ever tell anyone again that you're not allowed on this show. It's spreading lies.
You know what I mean? You don't like the confrontation.
we allowed you to come on here, spread your lies around the place, and then leave.
I think we're the most confrontational channel out there. If I'm honest with you, I think if anyone watching this show, if I could share with you what goes on in the Spurs Corner group chat, there's about 75 YouTubers and fans in there.
No one would ever tune in again. They'll just rather read the chat.
Yeah, I literally do an hour's worth of work, come back and there's 700 messages. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Who's died? You know what I mean?
On the same subject that we argued about 2 days ago. Listen, if anyone's going to the protest, guys, I'll be there. Come join us. Just come find me. I'll be there and thereabouts. Pick up Sarah in the chat. I'll be at the protest. James, you going to be at the game protest? Or?
Nah, son's got football. I was going to go with Sava, but our son's game got cancelled, like moved to like 11 o'clock. So now I can't.
All right. Well, James,
To be honest, I think I've dodged the bullet. To be honest, I'd like to go to the protest, but I really don't want to go to. I don't even want to watch the game on the telly.
I can't go to the protest, unfortunately.
I'm only going to the game because I'm going to the protest. Otherwise, I would have not.
Right, you go to every game. You make out that you don't go to games.
No.
Every week you're like in the stadium. Every week, this is still every week after the game. Right, I'm being kicked out of the stadium now, guys.
Right, let's call out this film right now. Stay there. I'm going for I'm going for the last.
Right, that's it. Yeah, mate. Yeah, okay, I'm leaving. Yeah. Right, bye, guys.
Right. Tottenham, Aston Villa. I wasn't there. I was at the Sunderland game. Brentford, I wasn't there. That was away. That's why. I was at the Liverpool game.
That's what I'm saying.
Prague. I wasn't at Brentford. I wasn't at Fulham either.
Right, guys. Yeah, being kicked out by the stewards now. All right.
I was at the Man United game. I wasn't at Copenhagen. So in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 8 home games, I've been to 2, James.
Nah, I'm not having it, mate. I've seen your videos.
He's just waffling. He's come on here and waffle. All right, listen. We are actually out of here. Come join us at the protest. We'll be there. Some of us will. If not, we're back next Wednesday. And I'll be on the Spurs 5 on tomorrow, if anyone's interested. Guys, have a good one. Look after yourselves. Let's pray to God we get something from the West Ham game. Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Hit the notification bell. Have a good weekend.